Welcome back to the Comics Aficionados, live here on Think Critical YouTube. Your Saturday morning delight is back. We're a few minutes late because Aaron Sparrow was taking his sweet-ass time getting into the stream as usual. How you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. They still banging hammers on your ceiling and stuff?
They went away for a few days, and now they're back doing it again. But fortunately, they don't do it on the weekends, so we shouldn't have any problems today.
Very nice. Did you get any good toys this week?
Oh, I got a ton of stuff this week. So much stuff this week.
So I sent that picture of Jeff the Land Shark over to Sully.
Uh-huh.
And he says that, he loves the toy, but he won't get it because, he doesn't play with toys, I guess.
No, I don't play the video game. I thought isn't that a character from the Marvel Rivals video game?
But it's Jeff. You love Jeff.
It's so
there
cute.
It is.
But I was like, I'm not playing Marvel Rivals. But if I was playing Marvel Rivals and online and against, I would definitely get it just to pick fights with Dylan and to beat Dylan with wearing a Jeff skin. That would be in the cute Jeff skin. I would totally be down for that because he's the real comic book gamer.
And he's not playing Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, for the real comic book gamer, he doesn't play a lot of games. Anybody else notice that? 2 games a year. He's played 007 in Lego Batman this year?
Oh, cool.
And I played Resident Evil. That's 3 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of games.
So how is the Batman Lego game?
It's fun. I enjoyed it. I haven't beat it yet. This week was all 007. I beat that already. That was really fun.
Your one most anticipated game of the year, and you beat it in a few days?
Yeah.
Took
me 13 hours.
That's how games work, Wes. If you really anticipate them, you play through.
Yeah, but I thought you were supposed to get 30, 40 hours of gameplay out of this stuff.
No, it depends on the game. And these types of games, no. This one took me 13 hours to beat.
And you did that in one day with just some Red Bulls and some Chinese takeout?
Basically,
Did you invite your girl over? Did she watch you?
No, she doesn't care about James Bond. It's not multiplayer.
She doesn't want to support you?
No, she doesn't care about any of this.
Oh. So did you think that the James Bond or the Batman game were better?
I mean, I much preferred James Bond, but I figured I would. Lego Batman's fun, but it's Lego Batman has a much lower ceiling, I'd say.
It's more of a Sully game.
I love the Lego games. Come on. They're wicked easy and they're cute. The Star Wars games, those were great. I loved the prequels through Lego. It was just so cool.
And so do you recommend the 007 First Light game?
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was great.
And it's what is it, $70?
Yep. Unfortunately.
I don't know, $70 for I guess 13 hours.
I mean, there's still additional stuff to do. That's just how long it took me to beat the story. There's still other challenges and things, and you can replay and all that. And there's probably going to be a bunch of future updates, especially because this is the same developers that made Hitman, and they've updated the crap out of those games. So assuming they do the same with this, there'll be a lot of additional content.
So there's going to be extra side quests and adventures that you can go on?
Yeah.
And new skins that you can play?
Yeah, they already have a bunch of skins. Hopefully they add it where you can change those in the campaign, though, because right now that's only for the side challenges.
And the main dude is just a regular actor, right?
Yeah. He's the guy that I believe played young Dexter in that show. He's an Irish guy. He's really good. I like him as this new young Bond.
Should they bring him in on MGM?
I mean, I'd be down. It's not going to happen, but I'd be down.
Yeah. All right. What do you think, Sparrow? Do you think this 007 game could be as good as GoldenEye?
I mean, I assume it's going to be a different kind of game than GoldenEye. GoldenEye still rules, but
is that that's one of the 2 or 3 best video games of all time, right? If I'm remembering this correctly,
one of the most addictive. And when you go back and you look into the development history of GoldenEye, that was almost a very different game. It was almost like an on the rails shooter, and just everything kind of came together in this perfect storm. If everything had worked out with MGM and with the Broccoli family, we would have been able to play as multiple different kinds of James Bonds. Either they had the face maps for Sean Connery, for Roger Moore. You would have been able to run around as all the different Bonds in history. But then the Broccoli family and their infinite wisdom was like, we think that it just needs to be the current James Bond. That's the product currently. And it's like, okay.
I don't think that took anything away from GoldenEye.
Oh, come on. You wouldn't want to run around as Connery?
I just went around and shot my friends.
Yeah, but if you could have done it as Bond, as any Bond that you wanted, pick your favorite Bond, have the battle, determining who's the greatest of the Bonds. We're gonna find out today in GoldenEye.
We get some metrics behind it. See what George Lazenby's pushing these days.
That's right. See, I would have jumped in as Lazenby just to piss people off. So I was actually really good at GoldenEye.
Surprisingly good Bond.
The respawns had like a pattern to them. Mm-hmm. So if you killed your buddy, you could basically just kill him intimately by throwing proximity mines at the next place.
Oh, we used to play games that were just proximity mines. Yeah. So you really frustrated the hell out of each other, but it was fun.
Man. Dylan Super Mastermind says the new 007 game looks too woke. Is that true?
No, it's not woke at all. It's also funny because the person before him is like, I'm playing it now. It's fun. Person who actually played the game. Yep. Guy who hasn't played the game but is on Twitter too much. It's too woke. It won't sell at all. It already sold 1.5 million copies, so it's already sold a lot. It's the fastest selling. IO Interactive is the developer. It's their fastest selling game yet.
That's good.
Why is it more money? This guy's just wrong about everything right now.
Why is it woke? Is there a woman in it?
Because I hear he gets chick-splained too.
Somebody actually holds the door open for somebody.
Oh my god!
I hear a woman of color chick-splain something to Bond in the tutorial or something.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, Moneypenny's a black woman, just like in the Daniel Craig movies. I like Moneypenny though. She's like not scolding you or anything like that. And then M is an Indian woman. But the thing that's interesting with this game is like M is kind of an idiot, and also Bond, the game clearly lets you know Bond is right about like everything in the game. Like he constantly goes against orders and like follows his instincts. And the game isn't like telling you like, hey, Bond's an idiot for doing this, he's wrong. The game is constantly like validating Bond's opinion and what he does. So, but again, you'd have to play the game to know that instead of just looking at Twitter, because there's a lot of engagement baiting going on Twitter right now with this game. But if you play the game, it's not like that at all.
There you go. Dylan gives it the 2 thumbs up.
I like that.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Righteous.
I finished Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Dylan, and it also was not woke.
Nice.
Cosmic Invasion, is that the one that you said was like Shredder's Revenge?
Yeah, it's like Shredder's Revenge, but with Marvel characters. Not as deep as Shredder's Revenge, though. If you were going to go one or the other, and you're just like, I just like playing fighting games and you don't have a property preference, I would say go with Shredder's Revenge. A lot more fun. And if you're a fan of the Turtles, there's a lot deeper cuts in there than you get with the Marvel game.
Have you played that one, Dylan?
No, I wanted to. I was waiting for it to go on sale. It looks fun.
It's a lot of fun.
I thought it was a mobile game.
No, you can play it. On the go.
I thought you were playing it on your phone.
You can play it on your Steam Deck.
Oh. So it's like an actual video game.
Yeah.
But you haven't beat Shredder's Revenge yet.
No, I haven't beat Shredder's Revenge.
Shredder's Revenge is great.
Yeah, the final boss is super, super tough. So if I had a buddy to play with, we could probably take down the last boss. But
Dylan, do you want to start a Shredder's Revenge clan?
I mean, that's not how it works, but yeah, I'd be down to play. I played with 2 of my friends, and we played all through that entire game one day, and it was really fun. Especially once we learned how to grab and throw guys, that was that was fun.
All right,
there's just so many characters in there.
Chen Muvo wants to know. He says he just read the Nightwing Compact by Tom Taylor. What is your opinion on Tom Taylor's Nightwing?
The funniest, I was just typing to tell him. I liked it in the first 3 issues. I was excited because of it seemed that Tom Taylor liked Nightwing, and we were coming off the Rick Grayson stuff. But by the end, I was frustrated. And Rick Grayson. I said my whole opinion of it is Tom Taylor pretty much wasn't writing Nightwing. He was the PR agent for Nightwing, telling us all every single issue that Nightwing's great. And so here's the thing, though. I did say after the fact, it's not bad for somebody who's never read Nightwing, but you're going to get bored with it really quick. and then go and find other Nightwing stuff, because he tries to elevate Nightwing, but also Nightwing doesn't do anything. Everything that's done is other characters coming in because they have to tell you how great Nightwing is. And that Heartless hung for way too long.
Yeah, he was literally ripping the hearts out of teenagers, and Nightwing's like out there doing like we got a statue of Alfred.
Yeah.
Like,
Pirate
there's a lot
Queen.
of kids dying. Perhaps you could.
But at one
stop
point,
to that guy.
Marv Wolfman, and then they were pizza. You had a bunch of nonsense.
The Pirate Queen,
stuff. Pirate Queen,
Princess showed
and
the sister,
by the end,
secret sister being the mayor, right? Was that it too?
Yes.
And everything kind of got
Secret
laid
sister.
to the side, and then it would come back. Heartless, the main villain, had to be reintroduced every time he showed up, and then when he did it, he changed things with it, and it was just odd. But yeah, overall, I thought that it was mid.
Let me ask you this, Jim. Was the reason that Nightwing was so great because he agreed with all of Tom Taylor's personal politics?
That, in fact, that might be, but I just think it might have been his butt.
I mean,
wealth, but
Jim says he doesn't do anything, but he does spend his money in that comic. He does that a lot.
Well, that's the funniest thing. I'm glad you
the only thing he does.
The funniest thing is that Aaron, in fact, he made Nightwing do weird stuff that you would think. He throws money at every problem that there is, and it goes against what messaging Tom Taylor was trying to do. So it was all over the place. But the big thing was just, hey, Nightwing's great, isn't he? Yeah, he's pretty great. And then
he gave a lollipop to Superboy one time.
He did.
Oh, that was weird. I remember that.
He
that
had
was
in his
so
pocket. He was reaching in. The Werthers weren't in quick reach. He gave him that nonsense. Remember what that was? Is that made John then think that Nightwing was going to save him when he was in the Earth 3 volcano, as if that made any sense. John ended up saying to Nightwing, like, I thought you were going to come save me. Like, are you stupid?
You know your dad's Superman, right?
What's that? Yeah. So, yeah, every other hit, but he thought Nightwing was going to save him. Yeah. But yeah, he did throw money at just about every problem that he had, except when he really should have. Like when these kids had their parents' hearts ripped out, they're living in a tent city, and he just left them there for a while, and just went on his business and did his thing.
He had to open up a new library dedicated to Alfred.
Yeah, with that statue that got vandalized later. How dare they?
The highlight is probably the three-legged dog, but almost everything good about that Nightwing book he stole from Matt Fraction's Hawkeye anyway.
Yeah. And
including the artist.
The best thing that will happen is when Alfred does come back eventually, and he wants to know where his money is. And Nightwing's like, well, I kind of gave it to this person.
These are IOUs.
Remember at the end, Dylan will remember, he gave the rest of the money to that Melinda, his sister, and she just left with it. It didn't make sense.
You know what the bad thing is, Dylan? If you're reading the current Nightwing from Dan Waters, the Tom Taylor Nightwing blows it out of the water as far as quality.
Yeah, which is sad because I really wanted this Nightwing to be good, and so far we've had two good artists on this Waters Nightwing run, but they're being wasted. Sad what's going on with Nightwing.
Super highway witch.
It is unreadable.
It's bad. Yeah, really bad.
They gotta make a change soon.
My favorite character, and he has not had a good book for a decade. It maybe, well, I did like the New 52. I did like the, but that's now about a decade. So,
how long ago was the Kyle Higgins?
That's yeah.
Well, yeah, that was like Rebirth Arrows when they gave him New Order, I believe.
Yeah, that New Order was great, but I'm saying more in.
It's like 7 years ago.
In continuity,
Higgins,
there was
New 52.
There was some good stuff during Rebirth, like. There was some good stuff. Team Seeley stuff started out all right, and then he just focused on this ex-girlfriend way too much, which was really annoying. And then you had the Sam Humphrey stuff with the Judge was really good. I liked that a lot, but that was only one arc. Don't say that to
Jim. He hates the Judge.
Oh my god!
I love the Judge.
I think he's great. The Judge is so cool.
They never explain anything, and every time they talk to the Judge, he's like, "I was transformed by the sea, and it was driving me nuts." Also, there was the whole play
mysterious.
It was mysterious, all right. They also had that crazy like housing thing that was submerged during, and they were saying like World War II, and it didn't. I didn't like it. But
And
again,
then you had
looking
Percy
back,
had
it's
some
better.
fun issues for like his like very small tenure on Nightwing.
Yeah.
Percy had some fun. Like he had that. I remember that race issue was really fun. Like
Yeah.
there was
You
some
ever
good
see,
stuff. But
Dylan? Did I ever just show you that he redid that exact story with Wolverine? Even the art was doubled up on Marvel deal with Ben Percy. Remember when they had that like loop de loop crazy race thing? He did the exact same thing with Wolverine. It was crazy.
I can't remember.
That was
but
an annual with Silencer, right?
Yeah, that was good. That
Yeah, I
actually, you're right. Actually, I didn't mind the Ben Percy stuff. I was upset.
yeah.
but
It was like 4 whole issues. The only
Yeah,
problem,
he
but
made
it
a
was
stand
good.
because they were trying to make
Yeah,
him
'cause
the
it's
Rick
stupid.
race, and he said, "I'm not going to do that shit." So I
Yeah,
give
so
him
like,
credit.
hey, Tom King shot him in the head in his other comic, so now
The
you got to
worst.
deal with the ramifications.
Yeah.
Killmonger says Nightwing's boring. Nightwing is not boring. He's Batman with hope and optimism. He's great.
He did
Yeah.
like
But
the
he's not written
Grayson
by-
book.
When they
Grayson
don't give
book
him
was
the-
funny, but
It's
When they
all
don't
about
give him
the
axe,
writer.
he's great.
yeah,
It's always the great. Grant Morrison had a great quote. What's Superman's greatest weakness? His writer. It's a paraphrase, but that's so true. I mean, Jeff Johns can take Nightwing for 3 panels and make him the best character in the DCU. And I'm thinking of like back in Infinite Crisis, and he's like Bruce is saying like, Dick, everyone trusts you. You know what I mean? Everyone revolves around you, and he's like, you're the heart of the.
That
I
sounds
love
like
that.
validation to me. I don't need that crap. I want to see it.
And-
No,
and yeah,
Bruce
that's
was like, like he broke all of his relationships, especially getting all paranoid with Brother Eye and all that. So it was just more like, no, Dick, I need you. Like, pull us all together. That was a really good moment.
It's great when characters, or when writers have characters tell, don't show, because that's the rule of comics.
yeah. The main character's the narration box.
Yeah, to tell tell Kamala Khan how great she is, and I'm a big fan. No,
You want some not boring
Night-
Nightwing? Go read the Chuck Dixon stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
exactly. I was just
Yeah,
about to say
yeah.
that.
Well,
And if
that's
you
what
wanna
I
be-
always said when people were reading that Tom Taylor and like, I like it, but it's kind of boring. I'm like, just read the Chuck Dixon stuff. That's
Yeah, and
where
pick
you
up
gotta
the-
start.
Pick up the Chuck Dixon, Tim Drake, Robin stuff too while
Yeah,
you're at
yeah.
it with art
Really
by Mike
good.
Waringo. That's really really good.
And if you want to be really sad at what could have been, read the Kyle Higgins Nightwing because it starts off really good
Oh,
and then
yeah,
it gets railroaded by Batman tie-ins and he never gets to tell another story of his own again.
Yeah.
And it's really sad
And
because
then
it's
it
very
just
clear.
ends because of Forever Evil. He has to
Yeah.
go up and die. It was all that was a good run.
Yeah, and then you read New Order, and also like it's very clear Kyle Higgins is a good handle on Dick Grayson, but they're just like, hey, tie into everything Batman's doing. And I remember he was out here when he was writing the Winter Soldier book. He was out here for Emerald City Comic Con. He's like, if you want a good Dick Grayson book, read my Winter Soldier book. It's like because that's where I'm able to do it right now.
So Killmonger says that he thinks Red Hood had better books than Nightwing.
Oh,
And I will
I've never heard
admit
anyone
that
say
Under the
that.
Red Hood is a better known story and probably, the more read story than anything Nightwing's had. But Nightwing has had far better runs than Red Hood.
Yeah, way better.
The Rebirth, the Outlaws, the Red Hood and the Outlaws was pretty cool with Bizarro and I guess Artemis was in it, but that's few and far. He does not have better books. And I did see some people talking about the Grayson book when he was a spy and giving Tom King credit where Tim Seeley was writing that. And what I've heard is most of the good stuff was from Tim Seeley, that he had to reel Tom King back because Tom King had weird things. And if you do read that book, all of a sudden it goes off the rails when Tom King and Tim Seeley got taken off to go to their Rebirth books. It was obvious that they had shit that would never be explained, and Lansing and Kelly came in to finish it and they couldn't. So I kind of liked it though, but people hated that.
But Red Hood is a character stuck in perpetual, like the
Yeah.
same moment in time where he does something, Batman gets mad at him, thinks that he's become a killer, and then has to forgive him. And then Red Hood has to forgive Batman for letting him die.
Yeah.
It's basically the same story over and
Yeah.
over again for like 20 years.
And then they have hamburgers sitting on the Batmobile, and you think everything's fine. And then the next issue, they're beating the crap out of each other, and Jason's doing
Yes.
some piece of shit thing. It always
Yep.
happens.
What's
They
their
did-
love language? Come on.
They did something really different with Red Hood when they did the New 52, though. Remember, he all of a sudden he had an ugly mask and he had a weird can opener device on his arm. That was something different.
That's great.
Just a bunch
I don't
of
know.
weird Swiss Army shit
Right.
coming out of a gauntlet. It was bizarre.
I think it's weird that you have a hero like walking around with a crowbar braiding people.
He's taking it back to the streets.
Yeah, what if his name is Crowbar?
There you go.
That crowbar
It's kind of
drives me
hard to be a
nuts.
fucking hero when you're crowbarring people. You know what I mean?
Casey Jones is a hero, and he goes
Yeah.
around braiding
He doesn't
people with sports
crowbar
equipment.
people. He hits them with hockey sticks.
Hockey
With a
sticks and
baseball
baseball
bat,
bats,
like-
and, a cricket bat,
Just
and,
melee weapons.
Jose Canseco bat.
just anything that was, anything that he could find at the Big Five.
And if you go and
Golf
read
club?
the Eastwood
A golf
stuff, Casey
club?
Jones pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
He
What's
is,
the difference
yeah.
between a golf club and a practically? What's the difference hitting somebody with a golf club and hitting somebody with a crowbar?
There's
All right.
not any.
I'll give you I'll give you a choice. You can let Dylan hit you with a crowbar or a golf club. Which one you taking? I'm
I don't wanna
taking
be
the
hit
golf
with
club
either.
every day. Well, of course you
I've-
don't. but You
I've-
got to take one.
You can get a really good swing with a golf club. I think you might be able to do more damage with a golf club than a crowbar. Because you got more like you can freaking move, like the way that
There's more torque,
yeah. To where with a crowbar it's shorter and it's like I think
but you have all that mass.
Mhm.
There's a lot
And there's
of
a little hook
mass.
on the end.
Yeah, there's a lot of mass.
but man, if you have someone
crowbar.
like down on the ground, like their head like a golf ball, and you get to do a full golf swing, I think that might be a little more than like a crowbar. Neither would be pleasant, but
I mean,
I mean,
you
I
can-
have a crowbar in my car for dealing with violent drug zombies in California. Should they approach? But that's just because it's smaller, it's easier, it's more compact. You
need a
can kind of
two-way.
get them from your window if you have to. But a golf club, that's got some wind up.
This
Aaron,
is
like,
what
you get the
ChatGPT says. A crowbar is more dangerous overall. While a golf club is dangerous, it's more likely to bend or break and spread force differently.
And plus, you can poke with a crowbar. You need literally
can
need some arc
Claws
and
into
swing.
somebody's head.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you can actually.
Crowbar
I'd
is
rather get
more
hit by a
close
golf
quarters.
It's like being Irish. We have something called a walking stick, the shillelagh, and it's a giant piece of wood with a knot at the top, and you can get some distance by poking someone with it, or come up under their jaw, just click, real quick. You can do that with a crowbar.
We're all
So
familiar with the
advantage
work of
crowbar.
We're all familiar with the work of Fit Finley, Sully.
And we also know, of Mark
Shillelagh.
Wahlberg as well.
It's the Irish walking stick.
I don't know. Did somebody say donuts?
Donuts? Oh boy.
Somebody's.
I want to
talking
try
about
those
donuts.
He-Man donuts. I don't really like donuts,
Dude.
and everybody like I said that, and everybody like on Twitter freaked out. You don't like donuts, and it's like let me quantify that. Donuts are great.
Yeah.
I don't like the way they make me feel after I have a donut.
I'm pre-diabetic. I'm at that age. Everyone's pre-diabetic.
It's just it's just you're just like even when you're eating it, you're like, oh, my teeth feel so gritty. I don't eat a lot of processed sugar, so it's like when I have if I take a sip of like a soda, or if I eat a donut, like it's like, oh god, I can feel the sugar on my teeth. I can so I don't like that. That said, I want to try those Krispy Kreme He-Man donuts before they go away.
Well, what do they got? Is it like a filled Long John or something?
Mhm.
No, there's one that it's like there's one for He-Man, one for Battle Cat that looks like Cringer's stripes. It's like green with the stripes on it, and then there's a Skeletor that's like a double chocolate. I don't know why Skeletor is double chocolate, but it looks amazing.
I'm with you. I think donuts are fine, but I generally don't go out of my way to really eat them. Like if I had a choice, I'd much rather have like a funnel cake or something. You know what I mean?
Or a red velvet cupcake,
Funnel
or what was it? What was it that you had at?
Oh, I had a German chocolate.
chocolate.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That
was
Ale bought us.
Mind blowing.
wonderful, wonderful cupcakes.
Yeah.
Mm.
I gave that cupcake a 5-knuckle shuffle. You know what I mean? I went right into it.
He got the jelly donut so that he got the money shot.
Yeah. Well, that was the egg in the burger that I had.
The egg.
That was not good.
You're
I
cracking
mean,
me
judging
up.
by your reaction, that wasn't your first time, so maybe that happens.
What are you talking about? What the fuck?
Like, hey, how did I get this yolk on my beard?
I mean, we had to tell you. You didn't even know. You were just like another Tuesday, dude.
No.
Wes, it's all in your hair, but they say it's good for it.
No. Yeah. Other than that, the burger was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
No,
I
that's
did feel
good
a little bit violated. It was a nice place.
That's a good lunch.
Yeah. Jim, you should have come down and hung out with us in Denver or Dallas. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Then I could have had you get me a filled long john. When you said that, I got excited. Like, do you like filled long johns? I'm like, I don't know what we're going with here, but it's fine. Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
but I already got.
Well,
I already got
if
3
I'm going to
songs
get a
based
donut,
off
it's
of
going
it.
to be a Bill Long John. Those are the best with
Filled
the
up, right.
Bavarian cream.
Ooh,
I don't like donuts either. I'm not a big fan. My son worked at the place in town that is just like a family-owned place that has really good donuts. It's way better than anything that they mentioned in the chat with the nonsense. Like, I can't even go to Dunkin' Donuts. I can't stand it. But these are pretty good. But they're too. They end up, Aaron. You would not be able to eat 3 bites of these things. They're huge, and they're just like so decadent. The deal that I'm the same. If I eat a half of one, I'm done. I'm just it's like after Thanksgiving. I'm like just laying there in a coma. Yeah.
We have this trend around Boston that's it's like yuppie donuts, like really upscale, like $7 donuts. I mean, a donut should be $7 for a half dozen. But they're like really like bacon maple donuts. They're actually ridiculously good. Or red velvet, donuts. But they are really good. But there's just like, are you kidding me? An $8 donut. That's got to be against the law.
In San Antonio, they had a bunch of kolache places. They had like a kolache factory, which is like some type of like Czech like pastry or whatever. But they made one, and inside of it was baked like sausage gravy. So basically, you were eating like a biscuit and gravy handheld.
That sounds pretty.
It was amazing.
It doesn't sound like a donut as much as it does a delicious breakfast sandwich.
Yeah.
You could have it with little like fruit and stuff in it, but you could also have sausages and things of that nature.
Wow.
But I thought they were way better than donuts because there was a savory aspect of it. You know what I'm saying?
It's a redneck version of a soup dumpling. I love it.
Yes. Well, I don't know about I don't know if there's rednecks in Czech, but in San Antonio they had lots of kolache places. I'd never heard of them before, and they were fantastic.
When I used to do Rose City Comic Con in Portland, someone would invariably bring me voodoo donuts, which are just a bunch of like donuts with just a bunch of weird stuff on them. Like, you want some donuts with some Captain Crunch on it, or some Fruit Loops, or like they had a bunch of different things. They would just throw whatever on there. They're pretty good. But yeah, it would, you'd have to have one at the end of the show. People would bring it to me, and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna have it at the end of the show when I'm going back to my hotel.
Yeah, voodoo donuts pretty good.
So I could probably do that, but if they got like the Lucky Charms, the one thing that I hate about kids cereal is the little dried up marshmallows that squeak in your teeth. It's like on the chalkboard to me. I can't take it.
Yeah. You gotta let them absorb a little bit of the milk, Wes.
Yeah, but I don't want the other pieces that are better to get all
soggy.
Yeah.
That's why you separate them. You sit down, you separate them out. You have your, you put your marshmallows in a jar. You put the cat food pieces in a, in another jar. When you do it, you pour the marshmallows in first. You give it 5 minutes. You come in and dump the cat food in, and there you go.
But by then, your milk's too warm.
Oh my goodness.
Well, no, you put the bowl back in the fridge, Doc. You keep it at the sink.
I got it. I'll make an electric bowl you plug in with a USB wire, and it just keeps your milk bowl cold.
This is the best.
But as I've gotten older, I like the sugary cereals less, and I'm more of like a Raisin Bran or just like cornflakes guy because I'm old and boring now.
You're such a pussy.
I agree, Doc.
I believe that you can get Comic Aficionados shirts in Europe. I believe the company that does the shipping on that definitely ships to Europe. We will have a somewhat new design on that coming up within the next month or two, I believe. That we've been working on. So that'll be, what is that? Oh, it should be fun. Is anything else going on that we need to talk about? Did you see a movie this week, Dylan?
Yeah, I did. I saw Tuner, which I'd highly recommend. I saw 2 movies actually. I saw Backrooms and Tuner. Backrooms was good. Tuner's my favorite movie of the year. That was a great movie.
What's Tuner about? I haven't even heard of it.
Sounds X-rated to me.
Yeah, it sounds sexy.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about when you hear Tuner?
I don't know.
He's thinking about one lonely fisherman's relationship, with a
I'm just thinking about that time I got that.
Sounds like time you saved the massage parlor.
It's a piano tuner guy that he has a condition where like he his hearing is extra, so he has to constantly dampen his hearing. But because of that, he finds out at one point that he can crack safes, and so a lot of things happen to where he then starts cracking safes because he needs extra money, and drama unfolds, and it's really, really good.
I did see
I
that.
like
That's
a lot.
basically the
Dustin
premise of an
Hoffman
episode of
Dustin Hoffman's
Person of
hilarious in it.
Yeah.
And the main guy, I've only seen him in, he was in White Lotus season 2. That's the only thing I've seen him in, but he was incredible in this movie. Like, he gave it a really, really good performance. And it's a roller coaster of a movie too. A lot happens in it, but I liked it a
Never
lot.
would've
Tuner
guessed.
was great.
Yeah, I saw the ad for it, and I was like, but I didn't remember that was the name, but I know exactly the movie you're talking about now. And when I saw the ad, I was like, oh, that looks really good. That looks like a really great movie that like nobody will go see.
Exactly, because it came out when The Backrooms came out. The Backrooms was good. I liked it. It's a horror movie that has, its origins are on the internet, and so it's like got a big bump behind it, and everyone was going to see it when I was there yesterday to see Tuner. And Tuner's going to get buried. No one's going to go see it, sadly. But it's a great movie. I think it's gotten really good reviews.
This right here is the truth. Dylan, I thought you were talking about a Bill Parcells biopic about the big tuna. That's sports ball for all you geeks out there. Nerds.
So you recommend both, but highly recommend Tuner.
Yes.
Did you see the Guy Ritchie film that came out with Henry Cavill?
Yeah, In the Gray. It was good. I liked it. That's another movie that's going to make no money because that one just had no advertising at all.
Yeah, I think I saw an ad for it once, maybe twice, and I was like, "Oh man, I want to see this." And then actually, I haven't had a chance to go see it yet. Maybe tonight.
Yeah, it was good though. It was fun. I liked it. It takes a bit to get going, but then once it gets going, I really liked it. It was a fun movie.
I'm just glad to see the Bland DeLorean is completely collapsing.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That obsession past that.
More like the Brandalorian. Hey, it's all about bits, but Star Wars.
No, that's what Grogu is.
The Mandalorian
It's the
was
Bland.
really good.
It's
Yeah,
not.
you want to hear Pedro Pascal? Just phone in.
Well, Neon liked it. I like that Neon and Geeky liked it, and that goes a long way with me. The Clownfish people, I align with their reviews.
I mean, Neon said it was fine. Like,
yeah, he had zero expectations.
Boy, there's a lot of action in it, and it's so boring. Like that's a feat, I feel like, to have like a lot of action on like a big budget movie and have it just be so bland and boring. And that's what they pull off in that movie. It is.
Is it a weird
not
tonal
paced
shift?
well?
Is it a weird tonal shift, Dylan, between the like here's a bunch of action that you don't care about, and now here's a bunch of cute baby and Babu Frick stuff? Woohoo!
There is some of that, and then there's like the movie's like okay, and then it hits this part where we spend like half an hour in the woods, and like nothing happens, and I just don't care. Like,
well, the episodes that they've assembled for this movie only had a runtime of this much. We had to pad it out.
Exactly. There's this one, like, without spoiling anything, I don't think anyone cares anyways, but there's like this one objective that's like going on, and they complete that objective, and that felt like that should have been the end of the movie. But then it's like, well, we got like 2 more episodes that we're cramming into this, so now we're on to the next arc. And it's like, why? What that first part should have been it, and now we're in the woods. And it's like I don't care about anyone. And it's a very ugly movie. It looks bad, like all around. And and again, there's a lot of Hutts speaking English, which is really weird.
I heard too.
Doesn't work.
The guy from the Bear, like I heard a little bit of the guy from the Bears performance as Rod of the Hutt, and I was like, man, did they even tell him like what he was doing? Like, did he have any idea?
That's about to say, I saw a clip on Twitter the other day of like an interview where he was like, I had no idea what I was doing, essentially. He's like, yeah, I met Jon Favreau at a party. He's like, hey, man, I got something for you. He's like, okay. He's like, and then I did some lines. And then like a year later, he's like, hey, we've expanded the part. Come on, do some more lines. And so then he went and did some more lines. He like had no idea the entire time what was going on. Like he seemed completely lost. And his performance gives that.
Well, apparently the expansion of the lines, too, is just the same speech over and over again about how he's his own man.
Yep. It's the whole time. He's like, I'm not my father, Jabba. And like, he's very monotone the whole time. And they have that sort of distortion or whatever effect that they do to his voice since he's a Hutt. And it's bad.
I heard Sigourney Weaver could not give a shit.
No, dude, it looks like she's AI. It doesn't even look like they actually got Sigourney Weaver. Like they just got AI. Dude, but there's a point where a bunch of rebels and X-Wing show up, and they're all, I don't think there's a single person in X-Wing that's under 60 years old. And it's kind of, it's kind of like,
or under 250 pounds.
It's like, why are we? And of course, one of them's Dave Filoni.
Oh yeah, I hear he wears a stupid cowboy hat in the movie.
Yep.
Make sure that he's yeah. You know his name's Trapper Wolf. You know that, right? That's so cool. Trapper Wolf.
The one cameo I did like, as far as Lucasfilm people go, is they had the concept artist from the prequels, that Asian guy. I can't remember his name, but I saw that guy and I was like, oh, it's him. The guy did a lot, because I remember watching all those behind the scenes when I was a kid of like the prequels and him constantly talking with Luke. It's like, I like that guy. It's cool that he got to be on the big screen. But Dave Filoni, it's like, no, don't show your face. I don't.
Did anybody get to watch Spider-Man Noir yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. I've heard good things.
Yeah, I heard it was really good.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have a report next weekend, because I definitely want to check it out myself. Let's hear for the peoples. We've got Jag Live. Check out this summer's Masters of the Universe. Dragon Pearl of Destruction. 80s beat 'em up He-Man, Tila, She-Ra, all playable. Deep cuts like Shokoti.
Yeah, that looks really good, but I hear that it's by Limited Run Games, which means I cannot support it.
The hell does that mean?
Our friend Kara got thrown under the bus by Limited Run Games, and ever since then I have not given them a dime.
Yeah.
Like Cara Dune?
Carolyn.
Yeah, Carolyn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Who the hell is that?
Oh, she worked for Eric July for a while. And,
yeah, now she's doing her own thing. She had some heart problems and she had to step away. But yeah, she's like doing her own thing on YouTube. But
they're currently in Japan with the FNT crew, with Gary and Melissa are out there with Garrett, and they're having.
I know. Time. I wish I was there. I was planning a Japan trip this year, and man, the timing would have been great.
That would have been awesome. Like Japanese baseball, that looked so much fun.
Looks like regular baseball, Japanese words.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Masters of the Universe, Dragon Pearl Destruction. There you go. Should be pretty good. Callum Lyle. I think the end of Supergirl 2026 will be the power was always within her, and she'll scream out with the power of her anger, and she'll
her angry V.
Kristen Fathers and before.
Yes, I mean it'll be the usual validating the woman story.
You think that movie? I don't see that movie crossing 400 million worldwide.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna make much.
But it's not going to do Marvel's like 200 million, right?
It might.
What was it 240?
It's tracking that way.
It very much
better
might.
than that.
No, I feel like this is just going to be a typical woman plot where there's no character arc for the woman. It's society and the perception of the woman that has the character
become better.
Yes. Yeah, because that's all female fantasy is. That's all female fiction.
When everything changes around them.
Yes. Yes. It's one of the reasons why YA is so popular with women, because the entire world bends to them instead of them adapting to the world.
Well, that kind of fits into like what they discovered with play patterns too, with kids, is that when you do a boy's property and you say here's He-Man or here's the Punisher or here's this character, boys want to be that character. They want to study that character and they want to learn about that character so they can play as that character. Whereas girls want the character to be them, and that's why so many girls' properties, the main character is a blank slate, because the way that girls imagine is they project themselves onto the doll, whereas the boys take in all the lore and then want to execute it that way.
Yeah, that's goes back to that Lego play study.
I think it also speaks to why so many since the writers' rooms have expanded to so many women, and not women that are interested in the product, that are interested in in telling stories the way that men's stories are told. It's why so many men's properties have been ruined by having more women in the writing room. And that's not saying all women, because as we've talked about on the show, as Wes and I talked about this week, you can have a woman like Karen Traviss come in who gets it and writes some fantastic Star Wars novels, that are both loved by men and women, but they are geared towards what men like in their fiction because she inherently understands it. And you can have a bunch of DEI hires come in who know nothing and don't care about what men like in men's fiction and just want to take the property and make it theirs. And then you get stuff like current Star Wars that men aren't interested in.
Is that why I like Virgin River so much? So I like pretend that Mel is really me.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Are you watching it as a woman or are you watching it as a man?
I don't know.
It seems to me, the way you talk about Virgin River, it seems that you've really internalized the lore and you're really interested in the minutia, just like a man would be, even though it's not a very manly product.
Well, you don't know that. You haven't even seen it. Jim's watching it.
That's fair.
Jim, you love Virgin River.
Virgin River. Yeah. No. No. I'm not watching that. No.
See, it's a river that no man has ever been inside of. That's why it's called Virgin River.
No,
There's
there's
your
the name
plot.
of the town. It's not that deep.
Well,
I
my
think
wife
Jim wrote a
loved it.
song called Virgin River.
Virgin River. Yeah. Yeah, I may now. My wife liked it, and here's her exact. We were doing the Hot or Not podcast, and he said about Virgin River, and my wife watches all that stuff. So I said, "Have you watched Virgin River?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, I loved it. Why?" And I said, "Oh, Wes likes it." And she goes, "Why would he watch that?" And then started sending me all these links that I was sending to Wes then to annoy him with Virgin River news. No.
Well, she's inviting you in to be part of the Virgin River community, Jim. We're very accepting.
She doesn't like what I told you. She doesn't like when I watch what she watches because either I just rip it apart or I don't pay attention. She gets angry. So it's fine the way it is. We have separate interests. Virgin River is not one that's, leaked over to me.
Not a lot of crossover there.
No, not at all.
Kalichi Oki says, getting closer and closer to Supergirl release date, and the actress's comments aren't helping. Superman didn't perform all that well, and a flop will help Gunn get closer to being evicted at his position at Warner Brothers.
At this point, I want to see Man of Steel. I want to see what happens there. Although the more that comes out about Man of Steel, and it's like, now this character's in it. Now this character's in it. I'm like, boy, it sure would be nice to get a Superman movie that's about Superman. So I don't really care. Like if James Gunn stays or he goes, I'm fine either way. I guess I'm invested the same amount.
I think that people don't realize that Tom King that it's based on. I see some people talking about it in the chat. It's just True Grit, and so if you like True Grit, maybe you like it. That's all it was.
But if you like True Grit, I'd say go watch True Grit.
Well,
either one of them.
Either one. Well, no.
Well, the problem is that Kara Zor-El has never been Rooster Cogburn, and they basically just make her into a drunk.
Well, since when has Tom King ever written a character as the character they are?
That's the problem. And people go, and I saw somebody that they were, online, and people were ripping them apart. And the idea with Tom King is if you don't know the character, you have no idea how much he's destroying it. But I've always said when Tom King writes your favorite character, that's when the light bulb goes off and you realize how much he sucks. And he ended up where he gets a character and just tries to say, where's the misery of the character? So he went with the idea that she's depressed about Krypton, being destroyed. She's gotten, I know not get past it, but she's used that to inspire her to be even a bigger hero. And he just cuts that off at the knees.
Right. It's like there's this huge trauma-based, angle on all of these like female-focused fictions. And it's like Kara Zor-El, yeah, that was part of her story, but she was never like this trauma-based, damaged person needing healing and resilience. She was always an optimistic, hopeful, bright, intelligent, wonderful, nice person. That's been my experience reading her all my life.
And the way that Tom King comes into it, when he writes it, it's as if you can feel that what he's saying is everything before that was bullshit. I'm going to tell you the real story.
Right.
And it gets infuriating. And again, what he does is in any book he's ever written, he'll devolate. What am I saying? He'll lessen the character.
Deconstruct.
He'll lessen the character to be like a -5. And then by the end, they get back to what is the normal. And he wants praise for it when he did nothing. He actually made the character worse to then get back to normal. That's his character development. It's not development. It's really bad.
Well, he
And
doesn't
it's
write the character. If with
No.
Kara, he's writing the scared little girl inside himself with PTSD, and you have to read about it. And then he wants to be head pat at the end because he kind of gave you back the character that you wanted. But the problem is now they're tainted.
it.
You're exactly right, Jim.
Yeah, and then if you go with DC, if anybody says, well, why does DC keep having them write books? It's the idea in my mind is afterwards you need 7 books to make the character right, so you really cash in at the end. There's characters after Heroes in Crisis like Poison Ivy that took years to get back to a status quo, and still is kind of weird because now she's the mayor of Gotham. But it's just he ruins characters. It's just plain and simple.
It's like I was like it's ridiculous that the idea that Gotham would elect Poison Ivy to be mayor, and then I look at LA and the fact that like people are like, I'm voting for Karen Bass again. It's just like, oh yeah, I guess Poison Ivy could be mayor.
But Jack Live chimed in on this as well, saying that he was in a chat for one of the 1/6 YouTubers, and then they started going after him because he said Tom King's Supergirl story sucks, which is the basis for the movie. And you're going to have that happen to you when you start dealing with people that don't actually know the characters or care about them.
And he doesn't write heroic stories. He writes just miserable stuff and just keeps writing the same story pretty much over and over and just inserts characters. And the only time it works is if you don't know the character, which if you look at the things that are the biggest things for him, it's lesser known characters in an Elseworlds, non-continuity way. But that Wonder Woman right now is god awful. It's so just hateful and just it is cheeks, dirty cheeks. It is
unwiped cheeks.
And Jag, you got to understand too, especially in the fandoms. There is a certain percentage of socially maladjusted people that if you say that something that they personally liked sucks, you are attacking their identity. And that's why they lose it and they defend these corporations. Like if I said like, hey, I really like this movie, and Wes goes, I thought that movie sucked, which has happened numerous times. Wes and I are still friends. I don't get mad at him and go on a tirade and attack Wes and then spend all my time on Twitter, responding to every post he puts up that's not even about that movie, but like talking shit. But there are people out there that do that. So I mean, I'm sorry that you ran into that.
And I just ended up, I told everybody what I don't like about his writing, and they'll come back with, "Oh, you're an idiot." That'll be their argument, or
they got a point.
That's not what happens. And no, that's true.
Then Jim goes, well, sure, but my point still stands. Yeah, I mean that has no bearing on the fact that Tom King sucks.
Exactly. And so if you like him, let me know the reason why, and that's fine. It's whatever. But
I think that if if someone said like oh, you're an idiot, I'd be like, and you're easily fooled. You're easily beguiled by a bad writer. But all he has to do is put up enough, up enough of a show. It's like spin this plate over here, look over here, just do a little clown dance, and you're delighted and clapping, and he's jingling keys in front of you, and you're like, woo, I like this, and you'll probably enjoy The Mandalorian.
But people end up with Tom King. They end up, like you said, it's not just I like the books. It's like this. It's weird. It's like a cult type thing. I had an actual reviewer that's still reviewing books that told me that he'll give Tom King a 10 out of 10 for every book because Mr. Miracle changed his life. He said, I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, really? Like, and he's like, I don't care what it is. I think even Ted said to me, I don't even read some of them. I just give them 10s. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that sounds like everybody who gives.
Well, this is why, comic reviews are bullshit.
So Callum says, obsession made me glad I'm single. Women. Yeesh. Is this the show on HBO or something?
No, this is the movie, and that's not the point of the movie. The obsession title. No, the obsession title refers to the guy because he completely takes her will away by making a wish that she's obsessed with him, and so she becomes like a crazy woman. But it's not how she is. That's because of what the wish he makes that turns her into that.
I don't know. I think that sounds like it's probably some type of subversive, take on how crazy women are. But just being around it. I don't know. But women, am I right?
Yeesh. Correct.
Take my wife.
Yeah, they'd be watching Virgin River and stuff. You can deal with that.
Oh,
really?
Hey, guys, women be shopping. Am I right?
I like my wife. I'm very happy to be married, and she's like my best friend. So I don't think they're all
Not
crazy.
me.
They're all a little crazy at least, Jim, but they're not all full on crazy.
Tell my wife that.
At least every woman is at least a 4 on the crazy scale.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
come on, we don't need to do the hot crazy matrix today.
My wife's a 26. if I was going to be honest, legit.
But so obsession, the dude wishes that the girl would be obsessed with him, and she is obsessed and ruins his life.
Yeah, he wishes that
gets his
she
wish.
would that like she would love him more than anything else. And
And
then
it becomes, once you strip away someone's free will, it's like this is going to turn crazy, and like it's like a monkey's paw thing, right?
I was gonna
Yeah.
say that it's a real monkey's paw situation.
Yeah. And then Calb says, have you noticed a trend of blacktivists trying to colonize history and culture like the Odyssey? You know what's interesting is the version of the Odyssey that Christopher Nolan is reportedly actually adapting is a relatively new transcription, but it was done by a white liberal lady, I believe. So I think they were a part of that too. But yeah,
They're shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different. When you had that Cleopatra thing, that was ridiculous. But the Odyssey is kind of a made-up story. You play it up. You can play it whatever you want. So.
I see it as these are the Glee theater kids, and this is their version, and that's
So you're saying Wes will like it?
Wes will give it the 5 knuckle shuffle. No.
I'll give it 5 knucks up. Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
I'm a big fan of the Odyssey and the Iliad, and I have a favorite translation. I love the Fitzgerald translations. These are great stories. Yeah, I mean, and like Lattimore has the better introductions, and these are like timeless, great stories. And like about 20 years ago, in Boston Commons, they had Shakespeare in the Park. They're doing Julius Caesar, and the Julius Caesar is played by a young black guy, and nobody gave a shit. You know what I mean? No, it was just casting, and it was just people speaking in iambic pentameter and togas. You know what I mean?
And then when they're stabbing him, they're like, just another day in Boston.
Yeah. Dude.
I thought it was weird that most of it took place outside of a Dunkin'.
Some insight.
Galb says, on what Doc said about Supergirl female-led stories, you forget daddy issues. This is a Tom King story, and he and Gunn have daddy issues.
They more have mommy issues.
Tom King's weird. He has both.
Yeah, I think he's got because I think his dad left.
His dad left him, and so then his mom was
story,
like in his mind was a strong woman, but it seems like she might have been. I don't know. I don't want to say the word, but like his idea of a strong woman is as a bitch who screams and yells and whatnot. But then he seems to have issues with that as well. He's got a lot of issues. He does.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was Tom King's dad, I would have left.
Oh, geez, guys, you terrible people here.
I'd have gone out for smokes and never come back. Like I gotta go get some smokes. Since when do you smoke?
I have a
Don't worry about
request, Wes. Could you do a video on Tom King's sales? Even comic normies are commenting on how bad the current Wonder Woman run is. I don't think he sells. I cannot because there is no hard and fast sales data in the last 5 years?
About 5 years, yeah.
Yeah. And before that, I noticed some trends that when he did Batman, that his sales were very good. And there was a time where it didn't matter what he did at DC. He could do something like a Heroes in Crisis or smaller characters, and his sales were good. But they were trending a bit down, but we don't know the full extent. Like, I don't know how... what's the target?
Human target.
The human, I don't know how his sales on human target work.
The funny thing is, the sales for his books, one of the worst was Supergirl. It didn't sell at all. It was bad. Like, again, the numbers don't mean anything now anyway because of the way things are, but that was selling like 23,000 a month, and that at that point wasn't good. And then once the movie was announced, everybody grabbed the trade, but you couldn't find anybody who was reading it at that time, and people going on and on. So you could throw them that out there, Kalichi, but there's no sales. You can't do it. It sucks.
And Calb says, Critical Drinker did a video about the woman who did that Odyssey adaptation, and she's exactly what you think she is. What a woman is being a character. Yes, there's a lot of people that consider themselves like high evolutionary thinkers and are leading the I guess the charge of progress in society. And the way that they want to do that is to go back in history and, I don't know, reclaim it and change it.
Here's the thing. I think that it's a lot like comics, though. These, like, how many times have you read or heard or whatever the Odyssey, and they try to do, oh, I'm going to do something different, but a lot of times it's different in the way of you never had it this way because it's not very good. But I do think it's because they are trying to, I know there's other things involved, but it's the idea of trying to retell these stories over and over and over instead of just coming with something original. So I think there's a problem with that too.
No, I think there's a reason that Andy Serkis did what he did with Animal Farm, because Animal Farm is problematic to the certain worldviews. So you got to go reclaim Animal Farm for his side, and then you bastardize the thing, and everyone goes, "What the fuck?" Now, I'm not saying that's exactly what Nolan's doing because we haven't actually seen the movie, but if he is basing it on that interpretation of the Odyssey, it definitely goes at great lengths to reinterpret.
Yeah, I only saw one thing.
That's
And
certainly what
was,
she's doing.
Yes,
in her adaptation.
Yeah.
Is
Yes.
it's attempting to capture critical key nodes and infrastructure of culture, because politics is downstream from culture, and all of these cultural Marxists have been trained to go out and do this. This is what their worldview is. So it's all spelled out in 1984, which wasn't meant to be an instruction manual, but it certainly is.
The one thing I saw what Christopher Nolan said about the bard character, that he wanted to have a rapper do it because that to him is like a modern bard or whatever. I'm like, whatever.
But no
then there's
orchestral
other
music,
characters.
because orchestral music didn't exist at the time, so therefore it shouldn't be in the movie.
Yeah. But again, then you had like Django Unchained, and they were playing, rap music and stuff, and I thought it was pretty good. So,
Django's
Everybody
one of
loves
my
A Knight's
favorite
Tale.
Tarantino movies. That's really good. I
Yeah,
love
I
A Knight's
like
Tale. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It got a little too much when they're singing "We Will Rock You."
Oh, I didn't.
Well, that
know
was
it
right at the-
just
that was
got
right at the
where it
beginning.
needed to be. Yeah. that
Where
was
it took me out is when they were riding into town. They were playing "The Boys Are Back in Town," and then he was talking about, like, the song's talking about meeting up at Sam's Bar and Grill, and I'm like, I don't feel like this medieval town has a Sam's Bar and Grill, but I could be wrong.
Spare Room Collections. The best Tom King Batman comic is when he wrote Human Target Number 8. Batman isn't even in it, about the dread and fear of being watched by the Batman.
I can see
I mean,
that.
that's pretty good. I mean, isn't that what? And that's what. Who was it that took over Punisher and tried to do that? Where the Punisher was the boogeyman,
The
essentially.
ultimate boogeyman.
Yeah, which is a good idea, but you have to be super talented to pull that off.
I feel like that was oh god.
The name that keeps coming to mind is Colleen Doran, and I know that's not right.
Yeah, no, I think you actually are right.
Okay.
I think it was Colleen Doran during after Rosenberg or right before Rosenberg.
Someone in the chat, tell us who we're thinking of.
So, Dylan, I think the best Tom King Batman issue I ever read was that first annual he did, where Batman or Thomas Wayne and Selena Kyle are like together until the end.
That was pretty good. I've tried to wipe most of Tom King Batman from my memory, though, because like
That
up
one
until
was pretty good, though.
there was some
Which
decent
one?
stuff up until the wedding. There was some
Becky
occasionally hit.
Cloonan.
Yeah, Becky Cloonan's who it was. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Sorry.
For Tom King, I think Danger Street is my standout. I guess that the one that I find the least revolting.
Again, nobody gave it.
Nobody read it.
Yes,
Except for, like, me and Joel.
That exists?
Danger Street.
Oh, well,
like,
Danger
that's every
Street.
back alley in Boston.
Well, if
Well,
we're going
Gary
outside of
Potash,
Batman, Up in the Sky is his best. Up in the Sky is pretty good.
You know what? I hated that so much, and I'm the only one. But at the beginning, you even have at the beginning the one girl dies, and it's just this little girl, and then he goes to save the other one. But it's just, I don't know. It's too nonsense to me.
And Jag says that actually I was on the panel when they were attacking him, not in the chat. Oh, good. You had some authority. I would tell him to shut the hell up. Eat the slop, plebs. I don't. That's not how you talk to people, but it sucks. Hopefully they weren't too mean to you, buddy. But if you're going to be on YouTube panels, people are going to yell at you and think you're a moron. It happens. Gallum, Tom King's dad. Son, I got a divorce because I found pictures of your mother in the bathroom. Ooh.
You
Kinda
just
weird.
I don't know what
bailed
that.
on them.
I don't know what that means, but maybe I
Maybe
shouldn't
it's
ask.
mythological. Some Oedipus stuff going on here.
And then he says, on Animal Farm, how long do you think Angel Studios will last when they took their mask off with that stupid ad of those two actors mocking?
That was a bad move, and I think that damaged them immensely. I don't know what kind of long-term effects it'll have, but they went down the path of attacking the audience for telling them we don't want this product and we don't like what's been done with it. And they decided the good idea was to attack the audience, to appeal to what? A mainstream audience, the modern audience. It was a really bad move.
Yeah, probably not the smartest move, especially when you have a smaller audience like that,
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jim, let me see if I can get this to work. All right, buddy?
You don't have to play it. We'll play it later.
What?
Yeah.
I got to see if I can get it to work.
Okay, well, you can try.
Let's do it.
It's for what?
Oh, it's working.
Uh-oh.
Jeez.
Are we going to do this debut now, or are we going to do it later?
I think you should play the stream out with it. It'll just interrupt things here, and people bash it.
Probably make fun of me.
They'll make
Call
fun of
me
me.
names.
I don't need that. Yeah, do it at the end when we're about to end, because I think it's like almost 2 minutes long. So,
All right, well, let's get to some of these hot takes. There was recently, these things happen on Reddit or Twitter. I'm sure they happen on Blue Sky. What's your hottest comic book take? What's sizzling? And some of them are just kind of common sense thing or just personal opinions. But I thought there were some pretty darn good ones. So I went in there and I found what I thought were some of the hottest or best hot takes in there. And I thought we could have some fun debating and talk about this stuff. Hot take number one, Tiger rules. Superhero comics are meant for children and young adults. It's okay to read them as an adult, but when you try to make them realistic and mature, they rapidly break down and become nonsensical. Talking about why comic books aren't quite as good as they used to be because now they're built for adults. So they have to be realistic. Doc, you take comic books very seriously. What do you think about this one? Doc is definitely smoking right now, isn't he?
He's in
It's got to
flavor
be
country.
choking out a heater. All right, Sully, you are a naive young man. What do you think
Naive.
about this? Do you
Actually
think
not.
the transition to adult readers was a death nail for American comic books?
Maybe. Okay. My spinner rack behind me, it's populated with Bronze Age babies that I bought when I was a kid with pocket change. It was a lot different then. You could, like, any loose change, coin change, a child would find in the cushions of the car or the couch or the Barca lounger, you know what I mean, on the floor, in the bottom of the pockets. You can't go looking in your mom's wallet. That's stealing. But to find loose change everywhere, that was the child's purview. That was your budget. And to have a couple of dollars in quarters, you can spend it on a video game, on a soda pop, or you could buy a comic book. And so comic books were most definitely targeted towards children, but not like really written for children as we think of children books. I mean, my first comic books were in 1981 Frank Miller Daredevil books. And these were about 174, 175. It's the introduction of the Hand, Kurigi the Ninja, Elektra, the death of Elektra coming up any minute now. It was really violent. You know what I mean? Blood, knives, guns. You know what I mean? Like, there's a body count. These aren't really made for children. They weren't, but we were the target audience. And because you can see that in the advertisements everywhere. So, that I know it's 40 years later. You don't have those kind of advertisements anymore. You don't have that price point anymore. What was 60 cents in 1982 would be about $2.30 today. And now we have the Marvel $5 monthly. It's and to then now taking this publishing kind of thing for the past 10 years of trying to, there was a lot of dumbing it down. There are some really good titles out there. But then for the majority, I'm thinking Marvel and all of like the She-Hulk stuff and the Ms. Marvel stuff, and just like this kind of like dumbing down of the world and the characters and the expectations. for the whole female focus stuff. And go ahead, Doc.
No, I was going to say, I mean, I think you're kind of onto something there.
Okay.
That I think that the premise is right here, that they're meant. I don't think they were meant for children in the way that we don't see children anymore. They were made for the 8-year-old that could get on his bicycle and ride across town with his friends, not from the sheltered helicopter parent. Oh my God, you can only watch Disney movies, and we're going to get upset that there's overt weird, somebody drew a penis on the cover of the fucking Little Mermaid.
Sexy.
Like poster and VHS box.
The castle in the background.
Yeah,
definitely phallic.
Yeah, I know. So it's not made for that child. It's made for the 1970s, 60s, 50s kid whose parent at 8 years old would have them they'd let him get on a bicycle, and they wouldn't see them until the streetlights came on. So I think we need to, first of all, look at the definition of children today versus the way that the definition of children was in 1983. Definition, they were very, very fine and made for children of 1983.
Right.
They are made for teenagers, or that same comic, if it was released today, would be targeted to teenagers or even early 20s, college age kids. Now, however, if you even look back in the day, Marvel and Stan Lee talked about this in a couple of interviews. Their target audience was always the teenager, and he would do things at like speaking engagements at colleges. At
colleges, they were very proud that the college kids loved them, and they were cool.
Yeah, and that's why, I mean, even during the 60s, they did that whole pop art. That's like the reason. If you look at some of those old early 60s books where it would have the Marvel logo, it would also say pop art on it. And because it was trying to tap into the teenage college pop art scene that was like a thing back then. And so that's where their target audience was. Right. Then again,
Marvel, you had the world outside your window. In 1963, 1964, you had Andy Warhol's factory. You had Roy Lichtenstein. You had the MoMA. This is New York City. You have art. You have culture, and it was bright and it was abstract. There was just different. It was a real break, like this post World War II break away from the European kind of fine thing. You know what I mean?
But
I love art.
But it still did a very fantastical approach.
Yeah. Well, I'll even just a second. The idea of realistic and mature, what Doc you're saying is, to me, realistic to me is boring. Like, it's mature is one thing, and you could talk about whether mature means, blood and guts or sex or whatever. But the realistic part, I think, is the one that goes, because realistic it's people eating, people just hanging out, talking. And that's boring. And if you are going to go, no kid's going to read that. And you want fantastical, and you can do that and still be mature. It's just this realistic part is the thing that
having to explain everything and base it in reality.
And how honestly, they explained fewer things and had a higher expectation of the reading comprehension and the deductive reasoning skills of the audience when they were written for 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
We done that one?
Yeah.
Are we ready?
I was just going to say that, like I said, that the part of realistic and mature, to me, you have a comic book, it needs to be exciting. It doesn't matter if it's written for a 3-year-old or a 50-year-old. You need to. It's a comic book. You need to have fantastical stuff. You want to escape in things and do that. And then when there are people sitting around eating and talking and bitching and moaning, it's just, I have that every day. I don't need that. And so why are you wasting time with something that you have.
Because it's also
yeah. Well,
because it's also
people are jerks.
Well, you think about the things that comics used to give us. They used to give us high stakes melodrama and like stories with moral clarity, and it was a power fantasy, and you had violence without consequence, and you could, as a boy, you could discover like the secret lore of these characters. It was one of the reasons that I laid on the floor and I read the Handbook of the Marvel Universe cover to cover, repeatedly. And there was like a collecting aspect to it, and villains, costumes, factions, all these things that like fire a boy's imagination. And now you have that with video games, and now the video games give you agency. They give the kid agency. You can read about Spider-Man, or you can be Spider-Man in a video game. So comics trying to compete, and and the people that read comics getting older and going like, well, I used to read Captain America, but what if Captain America was really mature? And what if he was dealing with what I'm dealing with as an adult? They've lost the people that are writing them have lost their sense of childhood wonder. And the children that would discover that and have that childhood wonder, they're playing video games, they're reading manga. So it's not and because they're reading manga, there's still an interest in reading. But manga is delivering those things.
They're still reading it. And the idea of things that I liked when I was 10, I kind of still like them for the same reason. And most of the time you want to read those because you did read them when you were 10. Or music that I like, new things come out, but I still like, say the Beatles, since Wessel give me crap, but they're my favorite band. I still like them for the same reason. And I'll listen to them. I'm not like I've outgrown them. The idea of trying to make it, when they get the idea, oh, these people have grown up, they want something different, but they don't. They want what they got into it for the most part. And
give me the same basics, but tell me a new story. But give me the power fantasy, give me the moral clarity, give me the the heroes doing heroic things. And especially as you get older and you deal with the the crap of the world every day, much more than you did when you were with a kid. You almost need that escapism more. But these writers come in like Tom King, and they want to write about all the depressing things of the world and cram that into your superhero story, and I don't want it there.
And so when you have this whole idea of, oh, that's for kids, the best ones are for everybody. Like, I love it. Oh man, I'll give this to my kid. And then they'll say they're not reading it. This is bullshit. But
it's something that Pixar movies used to understand.
It is. I was going to say, it's the idea the kids love it, but there's those things for the adults. So everybody enjoyed it. So and they've lost that.
This was another hot take from the right time. Sexualized female characters were load-bearing pillars of comics. Wonder Woman looks silly unless she's got the physique of a supermodel, which justifies the whole enterprise.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. That's not even a hot take. That's just a correct take.
She's an Amazon.
It's and not even looking at Wonder Woman. Most of them, for the exact same reason that ultra masculine male characters that are jacked and 6'4" and understand the utility of violence and all those ultra masculine things are equally load bearing.
Yep.
Sully, are you going to let this stand? You have turned your back on misogyny. I'm certain that you have. I think you do. You're all about being kind of a Karen nowadays. You seriously think that just sexualizing all the female characters in comic books was load bearing?
It totally is. It will be, and it's probably what pisses off the feminists that run publishing, because they know we could really sell the shit out of all of these books, but we have to change culture and have to change men. So, I mean, I look at, like, remember the old Image books? Like, I'm thinking Gen 13 and freaking Fairchild. Oh God, like, just like nicely well drawn. Go ahead.
Witchblade.
Like Witchblade. Oh yeah. Man, I just like I love
the best cosplay ever.
Those were load bearing for me when I was a kid.
Yeah, totally. Hey, Voodoo, want to bear this load?
Well, here's again. It goes back to the problem between what men want out of something and what women want out of something. Is that when they read about Conan and he's this muscular guy in a loincloth and he's going out and he's kicking ass and he's betting women and he's doing all these masculine things. And we see that and we go, that doesn't make me feel bad about myself. That gives me something to aspire to. Whereas, I've talked to so many, and again, not all women, because some women get it. But I've talked to so many women over the years, and they're like, "Oh, I don't like comic books because all the women are so ridiculously over sexualized and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Yeah, you are unhappy with yourself." And you look at that instead of saying like that's something that I can't achieve, but it's neat and it's kind of something to aspire to. You take it and it's a personal attack on you because you can't look like that.
Show him Superman sometime. The guy's got abs on abs on abs. The guy
he's got like a 14-pack.
Exactly. So it's not like it's like the guys are just walking around with sweatshirts and sweatpants on and whatever. They are also that way. It's just that it kind of, you get a little skimpier with the ladies, but it's still the same thing. Conan, as an example, I mean, that guy has nude all the time. That's why Wes likes the book.
There's no doubt about that. But Jim, they have gone away from the overly sexualized female to characters that are more easy to cosplay and, in theory, more inviting for other audiences to come in and enjoy the comic book experience.
Yeah, well, it is true.
And where are they?
And that's the thing. Most of those characters, the books don't sell, but the people do cosplay. I have noticed at points, because sometimes I'll admit, if I'm reading a book and I'm like, oh, man, Hellfire recently, like, she's pretty hot. I want to see if anybody cosplaying. I'm like, nobody's cosplaying any of these characters or whatnot. But it's the idea too. Again, if you're going to write a book and base a character on if people will cosplay, then you get Gwenpool, you get things like that.
Miss Marvel.
Yeah. And you kind of have to have more than that. And when they start yelling about Wonder Woman, for crying out loud, I mean, that's ridiculous to yell about Wonder Woman like that. It just... No,
you know why? Because you can't have 55,000 cosplayers.
Yeah.
All cosplaying the exact same character. You know what you can have? 55,000 people reading a fucking comic.
Be awesome. Yeah, and these cosplayers, I'm not saying that they're like, oh my God, I'm going to follow this series. They're just looking up pictures on the internet and coming up with their costumes. And it's fine. But it just, I don't know. I end up, what is it, Dynamite? I end up where every time they have like a Vampirella deal and they have a cosplay cover, I'm like, holy crap. Some of those, and also, what's it called? What is it? The company's right near me. What's the indie company that
Xenoscope?
Xenoscope. Like, if you get rid of cheesecake stuff, they might as well shut their doors because it's crazy.
But yeah, it's kind of weird, dude. In the current Wonder Woman, she's very beautiful because Daniel St. Pierre is doing the art, but she's not sexy at all.
Yeah,
she's just always kind of standing with her hand on her hips in a very powerful position.
And it shows you the script kind of does stuff with that too. I mean, yeah, she's kind of a uncaring bitch, so that's not sexy.
Yeah. Next hot take, we got Ivan Chura. The Brits should have stayed home and kept their distinct style rather than continuously deconstructing American stories. American and British comics would be in a better place if that happened. Jim, you are intrinsically connected to the British culture. Do you agree with that?
No, I think it's kind of funny. They did take over that invasion deal, but I don't know. Everything comes down to me for individual writers, not just styles. Plus, my mom's from England. I hate her guts. So I should really want to hate that deal. And I'm not a big fan of the British deal either. I'm not really, especially with stuff like Cy Spurrier and things recently. But I don't know. I never really think of it as that anyway. Doc would be a better one to talk about because Doc would be kind of more.
But the point would be that the overwhelming, biggest influence on today's crop of writers, is Grant Morrison.
Yeah,
It's Grant Morrison or Alan Moore.
I go back to Alan Moore in '81.
Again, it's an influence because they are good. It's just you don't need another Z-list person trying to be them. But yeah.
What
Unfortunately,
do you buy this? Do you think the Brits ruin American comics?
Yes, and in fact, actually, you know what? He's one of my favorite writers, but I think he did irreparable harm, and that's Warren Ellis.
Yeah,
because he had, unlike the rest of them that everybody just wanted to mimic, he actually had his own message board, and so many of the pros now. Fraction, Kelly Sue,
Chip
Zdarsky, like 5 or 6 more.
Declan Shalvey.
Declan Shalvey, Matthew Rosenberg,
all of them. Pilgrim.
Yep. All of them were incredibly active people on the Warren Ellis boards. So yes, all the people that are ruining comics now came from the fucking Ellis boards 25 years ago. And so as a result, as much as I love his Stormwatch, as much as I love his Authority, as much as I love Planetary, as much as I love Red, and another dozen of the things that he's done, and how really kind of amazing they are for comics, all of his acolytes fucking ruined them. So yeah, if we would have kept the British infestation quarantined like we should have after, I don't know, about 1887, and just never let them off their little fucking island again, I think the world would be a better place.
Well, we're just talking about comic books. We're not just talking about the world here.
I also think we'd be better off if we just kept them on their little fucking island.
I agree.
Completely.
But Jim, you wouldn't exist.
Yeah, that's my first thought. It really wouldn't. There'd be nobody happier than me. So, there you go.
Well, okay. Well, I think
Jim's like, I'd be dead. All right.
Yes, please.
I look at it like this. 1981 was a big year. It was the first deconstructions, and it was Alan Moore doing his own thing over in Britain with Miracle Man, Marvel Man, and deconstructing that. And I'm pretty sure that had a direct influence on Chris Claremont, because he then did X-Men God Loves Man Kills, which was it wasn't canon back then. It was out of continuity until it gets dovetailed in the 21st century. That's another thing. But that was the beginning of the Dark Age and the deconstruction stuff. Yet just a couple of years after that, Alan Moore gets Swamp Thing. And it even says it on the top of like every floppy, every issue. Sophisticated suspense. This was not your kid's, superhero book. And just the way that Swamp Thing took out the Batman and the Justice League early on in that book, before he got into the whole, his own thing, was just amazing. There were never books like this. And then comes Watchmen in '86. And I think the bigger problem, besides just the dark era, right, that we had with Moore and everything, it was, I think we began to take comic books too seriously. They weren't as if they were like high literature. I mean, they're good books, they're good stories, they're decent art, but are they remarkable enough literature to be having, getting your master's in college? My thesis was about Alan Moore's Watchmen. Like, are you kidding? It's it's not meant to be high art, but I think that over the years, we have, we're under this illusion that there's more high art and quality literature in comic books than there actually is. It's pretty much, for me, it's been just the same kind of superhero stories, decent art, but there's very few,
I think it was the late 90s, early 2000s obsession with the not only comics but comic readers, and I can't say that I wasn't infested by this for a period, where they wanted validity to their art form. They wanted validation about it being, an acceptable, because it was always considered kind of low art. They wanted it considered.
It's like in what's that show, Arrested Development, and we demand to be taken seriously. The picture for all the magicians.
Yes, exactly. And there was a big push in the early 2000s to gain legitimacy and to be taken seriously, the comic book industry. I think that was a fucking mistake.
What do you think, Dylan? As somebody who came in a little bit later than most of us and is a little bit younger, what's your take? Should the Brits have stayed home? Did they ruin comic books? Because if you look at what Scott Snyder's doing, he's doing very much a Frank Miller take on comic books rather than the more deconstructionist, like cynical view that you get from a lot of the Grant Morrison, Warren Ellis, Alan Moore clones that we have today.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily their fault because there were some talented writers that made a lot of good comics, and you had a lot of people that didn't even have an ounce of their talent try to copy it, and that's where you have the issue. But we have some good people doing different things, and I like Jeff Johns did a lot of reconstruction, a lot of more heroic stories that are great. So yeah, I think we had some issues with people trying to copycat that weren't very good, but you know, that's just gonna happen when you have people with talent that do actually make good comics.
But if the British invasion never happens, do you think American comics are in a better place today?
Not necessarily. I don't think so.
Very nice. Let's do this one. Wolvie616. Ultimate Universe 2.0 proved why comic lines shouldn't move in real time as a rule. You need a really good writer to make it work. Now, they tried to do this one in real time, Jim, where every issue moved like a month, like an hour of life. And I think they might have a point here because it sucked reading Ultimate Spider-Man. And then if it happened and it was going to continue the story on, it had to be the last day of the month. You know, in the first days to finish the story, or they were talking about things that happened that you never saw.
Yeah. You had that a lot with Ultimate Spider-Man. It needed to, you can have it happen over, over a longer period of time, but you also need to show that, because the dinner between Mary Jane and Peter and Gwen and Harry Osborn, apparently that dinner took 2 months. It was 2 or 3 months long because it happened over like 2 or 3 issues.
No, it just happened 2 or 3 times actually.
No, I think the first time was over 2 issues. But regardless, so it generally does not work unless you're really showing that there is long periods of time where these superheroes are not active at all. But no, you can't do it in real time. Wildstorm Universe kind of did this back in the day where they made things kind of happen in not exactly real time. It was not a sliding timeline such as Marvel has or DC has. It was kind of they're like, oh, this universe has been around for 15 years when it was about 15 years old. And they let the characters age in real time, but they didn't have like the stories occur in real time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it just shows that there's either a major flaw in the storytelling method, or it shows that you're gonna just don't get attached to any of these characters because they have a maximum of about 10 or 15 years of lifespan before they need to be retired, because otherwise they're aging really, really fucking slow, or they're a 90-year-old still out fighting crime.
Well, you also come up with the issue where they learn new information or realize this is who the real bad guy is, and then they wait a month to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just came back. It also is that you can't have cliffhangers because you end up where something's like big at the end and then you're 2 weeks ahead from there. And it ended up any cliffhanger just went and thudded.
So you think that that debate's over? They should never ever try it again?
The real time? Nah. I mean, this is, I don't know. I'm holding $125 with the funny books right here. And was it worth it? This is Ultimate Spider-Man's 1 through 24, the complete story. And yeah, the whole being tied to real time, it doesn't work. It really doesn't.
It was a hindrance.
Yeah, it just, and it's kind of weird too in a continuity way, because the children seem to barely age. Who's the kid, May, the daughter? She doesn't look like she ages 2 years. You know what I mean? And the kids grow a lot in 2 years of that age. I don't know. Yeah, it didn't work for it. It was okay, but yeah, the Ultimate Spider-Man. least I bought
Maybe
it.
this will
Check
be
it out.
hotter. Daily Bugle Janitorial says the only super families that work in the big two are the Fantastic Four and Bat Family. Come on, Sully, get in here, buddy.
Flash
I know you
Family's
got-
great with Wally and the kids.
Yeah, Wally and the kids. That's a good one.
I think all the families suck except for Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the concept of Bat Family at all. He's like
That's
always
not-
talk about how I'm a loner and I like to work alone. It's like, no, you haven't. Like, you got like 7 fucking understudies at this point.
I mean, that's always been Batman, though. I'm fine with the Bat Family to a point. I just think we need to trim the fat a bit, and also
Yeah,
we
he
don't need
needs
to always have all of the Bat Family all around all the time.
Yeah, it should be
Yeah.
him, a Robin, a guy in in the chair to help him out while he's on the thing, and maybe another person or two. But they always blow these things up. The Superman family is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you add like one. Yeah, you do try to add interesting characters like the twins, and there's not enough room for them because there's so many other characters. So they kind of get pushed to the side.
Well, and you're sitting there going, I wonder why Superman only spends time with these 2 adopted twins and not his own child.
Mm.
The worst was the Green Arrow family with Williamson's Green Arrow.
Man.
Oh my goodness! Adding like a Red Canary and all that crap.
Red
Like, we don't-
Canary.
Okay.
Oh
yes.
my goodness, that was rough. And then thankfully, when Conda came in, he got rid of all that. And he's like, "Here's Ollie and here's Roy and Roy's daughter, and that's what we got." It's like, this is
Mhm.
great. This is nice. We're focused.
Red Canary was definitely
So stupid.
Oh my god. Bad.
Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy what Jeremy Adams did on Flash with Wally West, and it was a good book, but I still wish we didn't have like such an enormous family. We don't need 7 speedsters in the same book.
Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of these families is they're redundant. Like with the Bat family, it's like what separates them all? They all kind of do the same thing, especially with how much they've tried to nerf Jason over the years. Same with Superman. It's like, what's the difference between them? They all do the same thing. Like there's a lot of redundancies with these families.
And that's the
Yeah,
thing.
you
I
look
like
at-
actual families in the deal, like I said with Wally and his kids. But when you end up, doing this idea that anybody Usain Bolt's probably part of the Flash family. If you can sprint down the street, you're part of the family. So I like actual families.
Yeah, but Jay Garrick was in that book. I think Impulse was in that book. The mom ended up getting speed powers, which I thought was fine because she was pregnant. I thought that was like a pretty cool reveal
you're
and
going to
everything.
intersect with some of the characters, but the idea in the Jeremy Adams run, you did end up adding a bunch of the other characters because that was in kind of a war situation.
Right.
They did add them. But even now with Ryan North, it's just, the family. I don't mind that.
Well, even before that, we had like the Mark Waid and Jeff Johns ages. We had like Jesse Quick. We had
And
Johnny
you'd always have the
Quick,
barbecues, which are great. You'd have everybody there at that deal. Yeah.
Max Mercury. You had the Flashes, the Future, like John Fox. Like you had the really, the plus sized one from Titan. You know what I mean? It didn't. I thought that was an interesting one. He was kind of like almost like Juggernaut. He had a lot of mass behind him. And
You shouldn't have a fat speedster. It makes no sense.
That was the best in Dial H, though, when he became Fat Flash. It was one of the funniest things ever. That was pretty good.
What do you think, Dylan? What other superhero families work, or do you think none of them work really?
I don't know what other super family works. I think most of them are just they don't work too well. They get overcrowded and they're redundant.
Aquaman got overcrowded. You just start adding everybody.
Yeah, even in Wonder Woman, you've got Wonder Woman, you've got Trinity, you've got Cassie Sandspark,
3 Wonder
Yara
Girls.
Flor. There's
Donna
another
Troy.
Wonder Girl that I'm
Donna
forgetting.
Troy.
Yeah, Donna Troy.
Yara Flor down to Troy. You have like 800 Wonder Girls. You add up,
And you have
it's
Artemis
ridiculous.
out
Remember
Yeah.
that one issue where they're all going on different missions, just
Nubia.
murdering people?
Yeah, and robbing banks.
Yes. I was like, what is going on
Not
here?
so Wonder Girls. Well, that was Tom King.
Yeah.
They
But
stuck
I
it
think
to
he's
the
right.
patriarch or whatever.
But I only like the Fantastic Four as a family. I think most other superheroes, I'm tired of variants. The Spider-Man family is ridiculous. Like, how many Spider characters can live in one fucking universe?
Yeah.
Well, you got Spider-Man, Spider
Your girl.
Man,
Keep going.
Miles Morales, Spider Woman, Spider Girl,
Spider-Boy.
Spider Boy,
Silk.
Wheelchair, Papa Wheelie.
Spider. Ghost Spider.
Oh, what was that? Something Web Weaver? Is that
Yeah,
the one?
Web
That
Weaver. The one that,
Spider-Punk.
was Web Weaver the one that does the costume
I
design?
think that was the Taylor.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
That's,
Spider-Punk.
Madam Web.
Again,
Madam
if
Web?
Spider-Man,
Yeah.
if you ended up where Spider-Man was in trouble, he's never calling Papa Wheelie
There's-
or Web Weaver. He wouldn't
there's-
think of them as that part of it.
There is, so you have the Fantastic Four
Mhm.
as the X-Men as a pseudo chosen family.
Family, yeah.
Found Family.
Found
Found family.
family. Those work. The Bat family, way too large. It's just variants. There's a fucking Hulk family at this point.
Yes, there is.
There's and the Spider family, the Flash family, the Super family,
Wolverine Family.
the Claw family.
Virtual reality even said there's Ant-Man family, the Pym family.
Yep.
There's, all that. So if you're arguing with people about Batman and they're like, oh, he's awful with these kids won't leave. Like he must have done something. They won't leave. They're always there.
Get a job.
Yeah, really.
But no, all of those families, and they don't work because they all have the exact same fucking power sets.
Exactly.
The Fantastic Four work as a family because they all have unique power sets. The
Hmm.
X-Men work as a family because they all have unique power sets. Not all of the rest of them fail because they're literally just the Burger King Kids Club version of they're just reskinned versions of the exact same character over and over and over and over and over again.
And I'll add something to that, Doc. When you have these, the Burger King Kids Club deal, when they go off on their own sort of thing, the villains they face are usually the villains of the main
The
person
hand-me-downs.
anyway, or it is a variation of it. It's just always the same. So
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't get
Vulture's
that variety.
granddaughter is the
Yeah.
Vulture and Miles.
Yeah.
And over in the Ghost Spider book, it was just other people
Mhm.
and different power, like they just played fucking musical power sets and musical musical chairs with their power sets, their names, and their costumes with all the same characters, and you just decided to play fucking mix and match. So yeah, they all suck. Every single one of them damages the character. Every single one of them. There's not a single family outside the Fantastic Four and the X-Men that does not damage the uniqueness of the main character, of which everyone else is just a poor photocopy. It's fucking multiplicity, and every single one of them is the clone of the clone, the retarded one.
Last hot take from that thread. Cat Daddy Gamer said Ultimate Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man run of all time, talking about the Brian Michael Bendis Bagley run. Is better than Stan and Ditko.
I think it's more it's distilled. It took all of the stuff that Ditko and Stan and John Romita did, and even J.M. DeMatteis and everybody else, basically up through the 90s, and just distilled it down to its most pure form. But basically, it's just a really, really, really good cover band playing Stan and Ditko's greatest hits. It's Grant Morrison's new X-Men.
Do you consider it better than the Stan and
No.
Ditko run?
No, because that's pure. It has all of its blemishes and faults and failures and stuff that doesn't work.
Yeah, but their run's only what, 40 something?
Yeah, it's about 40 some issues. Then John Romita Sr. comes on.
Bendis's is 160.
Yeah, it also took the origin that took like 3 panels. It took like 7 issues, so it's been
It's true.
expanded.
Yeah.
It doesn't appear as Spider-Man until issue 8, I think.
It's
Now
crazy.
I will give it credit for being what it was, which was the most consistent, because that book put out 18 issues a year or 17 issues a year for almost 10 straight years. With you had 140 some issue, or 100, I think it was 141 issues of Bagley and Bendis. So I will give them that. They didn't miss a fucking month, and they were putting it out every like 3 weeks.
But Uncle Ben had a ponytail. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Remember that ponytail?
Well, I mean, you know what? No, that kind of actually did make sense for him to be like an.
It was. He was
hippie.
like a yeah. It was funny.
Him and Aunt May being like old hippies.
They were hippies. It was kind of funny, but the minute I saw it, I'm like, oh god, this universe is screwed.
Oh, I liked it. I was a big fan
I
of
was
it.
about to say Sully's going to be the one.
rat.
No,
tattoo.
I
I know it.
They live in my short boxes. I mean, I've seen them recently. I got shitloads of those.
That's your
floppies.
favorite Spidey run, isn't it?
That's one of my favorite Spider-Man runs. Because I loved when we had Art T-Bear on the show, and I got to ask him. It was like, dude, when you left that book, the art, Bagley's art, I feel like it faltered because it was, Art T-Bear's inks on Mark Bagley's pencils just defined the really like nice look of that book. And I liked it. He was 15 years old again, and he's working for the Daily Bugle, but as it's the webmaster. I love the kind of ironic, twist to that. You know what I mean? He's still working for the Bugle. He's still getting yelled at by J. Jonah Jameson, but it's more of like that was the updated contemporary kind of approach to it, and it was refreshing. It was novel at the time, too. It was just
because and because
worked.
it was the beginning of the internet media and the newspapers transition over to like a web-based product, and them not understanding how to do it, so they needed to hire
15-year-old kid.
They needed fucking kids to do it.
And Peter Parker, a boy genius, and who still develops his own web shooter in the web fluid, which is engineering. And
Hold on, guys.
15-year-old kid. And
Sparrow, I need you to talk so we can even out your mic. We're getting.
Oh, okay. Let's. Can you hear me?
You were just gone for so long that the system was pulling in everything from your background. My bad.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
What say you, Sparrow? Do you think Ultimate Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man run of all times?
Oh God, no. God, no. There'd have to actually be some Spider-Man in it.
No. We're talking about the original one.
Yes.
Oh, the original. No, I don't think it's one of the greatest Spider-Man runs of all time because I would say that the one that created the Spider-Man run out of whole cloth is a greater one, because all Ultimate Spider-Man is Bendis taking stories that already existed and putting a new spin on them. The guys that told the original Spider-Man stories, the original Spider-Man runs, those are the guys that, did the best Spider-Man run, because they created all of the toys that Bendis got to play with in his run.
I could see why people might think it's the best, or they would come.
Yeah, because they haven't read all the other good runs that are out there. That's why they would think that.
Well, plus it dropped all the crap stuff. It's just, just playing the greatest hits.
Did it drop all the crap stuff?
It dropped a
It
lot
had
of
its
it.
own.
It didn't do fucking Clone Saga.
Yeah, exactly. Jim's right. It had its own crap stuff.
It had a Clone Saga,
but not for 3 years.
Gwen Stacy still gets killed horribly. But
by the way, reading current day Spider-Man, anyone would go back to the Clone Saga at this point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's danger.
Well, it's kind of like going back to the Clone Saga now is with Spider-Man is the same as me 3 years ago saying I want Chuck Austin back on X-Men.
Yeah, it's
because
exactly
it's just gotten so bad.
Bionic Man.
You're like, we didn't realize how good we had it. When it was bad.
I might go back to Zeb Wells right now.
I couldn't go there. I would definitely go back to Nick Spencer.
I'd go to Nick Spencer, definitely. I would.
Yeah. It's the Clone Saga. There's a lot of interesting stuff in the Clone Saga. The main flaw of the Clone Saga was 3 years of just super grim, dark stories. It didn't need to be that. The idea that the clone came back and thought he was the real Spider-Man, and there was a mystery as to who was the clone, that's a good story to play out. The mistake was that they wanted to get rid of Peter Parker and actually say that the clone had been the real Spider-Man all along, so they could write out Mary Jane. And once again, they could write out the marriage, because
And the pregnancy.
and the pregnancy. They could just, send that Peter off into the sunset. That was the problem with the Clone Saga. That's what people hated about it. But it gave us a lot of interesting stuff and a lot of characters that haven't shown up. Again, like, where's Judas Traveler? Whatever happened with that guy? There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on that's just like been dropped. But like Kane comes back, and people like Kane. People like Ben Reilly, and then what do? They turn him into Chasm, and they ruin him. I even at the end of the Clone Saga, when I was like, I'm done with the Clone Saga. I'm tired of this. Who is it? Who isn't it? But I was still pissed that they killed Ben Reilly, because I thought you depower Ben Reilly, and it would be interesting to have a couple of years of stories where Ben Reilly's just a depowered Peter, but at least Peter now has like a brother that he can go and talk to and unload some of his burden on. About being Spider-Man. That would have been an interesting dynamic to explore. But again, I talk
about unloading my burden. You guys call me weird names. Eric says it's just normal.
Oops.
Well, remember that we were talking about the sexy pillars of comics and unloading those burdens.
Yeah, and we're calling that like
Load bearing.
Spies. Ooh, those are sexy pillars of comics.
So that's all the hot takes we got time for. Let's hear for the people's. Caleb says X-Men 97 Season 2 trailer dropped and Iceman is straight.
Ooh.
Yep.
That won't last. That won't last. That's not gonna be the end. By the end of Season 2, he will not be straight. You can take that to the bank.
Oh, are they
You like the X-Men 97, right, Doc?
You know what? I haven't watched it. I've literally not gotten through the first episode. I started watching it on an airplane.
That's not a rave review.
No, I mean it was fine. I was watching it on an airplane, on my iPad, and then I was having trouble with my headphones, and then I've just literally forgotten about it. And every time I've been on an airplane since, I've had other movies to watch. Like I watched The Ballerina the other day because I never finished that either. That's okay.
Is the Ballerina the one where it's the vampire girl?
No, it's
the John Wick movie.
The John Wick.
Oh, that's
spin-off.
right. That's right. Yeah,
No, Abigail is the vampire one. That was fucking awesome.
I like that one a lot.
Gal says the problem with appealing comics to kids is they always hire people like Maya Kababi and other writers with hidden stuff on their laptops.
I've never heard that name before.
I don't know who that person
That's the
is.
writer of Genderqueer.
Oh,
never heard that either.
Don't Google it, Jim. You might not like some of the images.
It's the worst is I'll start to and it'll fill in the blanks for it, and I'll realize that I'm a degenerate.
I can guess, and I don't want to know. But no, yeah, that is a problem, because what they hire is like these weird, like the same people that are really, really interested in dressing up in drag and reading to children.
Yeah, you have people with agendas that want to go in and communicate with children, and they oftentimes like hire them.
Yes. Yeah, because those are the people that they act like a demented Mrs. Frizzle.
Yeah.
I didn't think we'd say Mrs. Frizzle.
H German and Sigma Comics, shout out to the best in the biz from Fan Expo Philly in Denver. Casey is in Denver, HH is in Philly, and it's your last 48 hours for Calico Unwanted Men on Kickstarter. Very cool.
Check it out, guys.
The Sunshine State, Colorado. Right, I guess he's in Philly. What's good about Philly, Jim? You should go over to Philly Expo, dude. Go meet HH.
I think I got tickets. I don't know if you're in Philly, the best thing to do is get the hell out of Philly, is what I would say. But
don't get shot.
Yeah, just don't wear a Dallas Cowboys hat. And keep your head down, or maybe keep it up. Keep it on a swivel. It's fine. It's what it is. Don't say New York's good either. People get pissed.
But it's your last 2 days before Unwanted Men goes off of Kickstarter. So definitely go support that now. And if you are going to be at a Comic-Con, good chance that HH or one of their people is going to be there. Very cool stuff. Wraith X7. The code approved Marvel comics from the 80s and 90s were written in layers and were suitable for appealing to all ages.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, I do think that the comics code, in some ways, it worked the same way as Ike Perlmutter working as a kind of counterbalance against Kevin Feige's worst tendencies. I thought that the comics code for a while did kind of counterbalance maybe some of the worst tendencies of the Marvel writers. And I mean, if we had the code back, at least not everything would just be screaming I'm gay all the time. So that'd be an improvement. Iceman would have a personality again.
Make Iceman have a personality again. I remember the Ryan Somer did a comic strip for a couple of years, a webcomic called The Gutters. And it was all about the comic book industry. And I remember when they dropped it says when DC dropped the Comics Code Authority, it shows he just did a cartoon where Clark Kent is like reading the Daily Planet, and that headline is on there. And he like looks up and he puts it down and he goes and he flies out as Superman. He flies over to LexCorp and he comes crashing into this board meeting where Lex is giving a meeting. And he walks up to him and he goes, "Dude, F you, seriously." And then just turns to the camera and just smiles, like the Superman pose. It was like all that pent up, aggression. I was like, yeah, that's fair.
Calb says Lady Death, Code, and Red Sonja in every Ed Benes art. I'm assuming he's talking about the overly sexualized characters.
Ed Benes is a damn good artist.
Yeah,
Yes, he is.
that was great, Lois.
He's
Adam
kind
Hughes.
of Ed Benes and Joe Benitez are my two favorite of like kind of the heir apparent for Michael Turner. Sexy
Did the first
art.
issue of The Darkness recently,
I know.
but he didn't do anything after that.
I know.
Although I think he's doing covers, right?
Yes, I believe. I'm looking.
Or
at
maybe
them
it's
right now.
Silvestri doing the covers.
No, Benes has done some of them. I don't think it's been all him though. I'm looking at them right now.
The idea that comics aren't sexualized anymore is both true and untrue. They are sexualized, but now they're sexualized for weirdos. It used to be characters were sexualized in a way that like normal people appreciated. Now there's books for fart fetishists and every weird, every weird lunatic on Twitter that has some weird fetish, wants to see that reflected in the comics. And then people like Gail Simone give it, people like Gail Simone give it to him. Like, oh, Nightcrawler loves going to furry parties. Isn't that funny? And Gail's like, I'm so clever. But now what you've done is you've put that on the character. Now that character is tainted by your little joke.
Yeah.
I'd
Who doesn't
also
want
add
to see Superman with a gag ball?
I'd add Greg Land to the art there. With the
Porno
Yeah.
face?
Yeah.
Hey, at least he just traced porno.
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
always at least like a hot girl porno.
It is.
I mean,
Decrepit.
how familiar with porn did he have to be to go like, I know exactly what porn to go to get the pose I need,
To the
for
stills.
this book.
He
Like
just
the
has it
writer puts
playing
in
out in
like,
the background.
yeah,
funny.
Invisible Woman is doing this, and he's like, I know exactly what porno has that pose.
Tori Wells would be good here. Old school.
I'm gonna have to go
Decrepit
back to the
says
70s for this.
Absolute Green Arrow. Thoughts? I thought it's mostly an Absolute Black Canary book, and I don't like that Black Canary. It's all about her trauma, but when it's not about that, it looks good. There's some interesting elements to it. I did not recommend. How about you, Dylan?
Yeah, I felt similarly. I like the beginning and the end when Green Arrow was in the Green Arrow book, but the middle with Black Canary, I didn't care about anything going on with her, and I didn't think it was executed well.
No, I didn't think. I'm with you as well. I think that the things that they wanted to get across, and again, it's like, hey, it's Green Arrow, so we're going to have, some messaging, but Green Arrow isn't kind of in the book. But then when you did message, it's like, oh, that guy, he likes young kids and he has an island. I'm like, I kind of get it. I understand. Yeah. And then this whole play of if you see money on a screen and somebody, I'm like, this is too much. And yeah, and I don't know, maybe it'll get better. Maybe when we find out who Green Arrow is, which I do think it's Oliver still. I think he's come back from the grave, but that's just me. I didn't like it.
Garfield's Bizarre Adventure. Sorry, Sully, I don't think you're getting your Rainbow the Brute comic this year. Comicsgate is embroiled in another schism and are flagging each other.
Really? Oh boy. I know, actually. Another
schism? How many schisms have there been?
Another civil war?
Wait, now my question is,
okay,
once you reach a certain level of schism, isn't it just like every man for themselves at that point?
Yeah.
It's the purge.
Yeah. I don't think I'm getting it either this year. Okay, this is a tattoo I got. It says Qui Bono. It's Cicero, the famous.
Like you too?
Yeah, right. Thanks.
With or without you.
It means it's from Cicero, the Roman orator. I think of the Roman Empire every day, of course, but it means like who benefits, who, what are you getting out of this? I mean, like I mean, it's so kind of weird and antagonistic on that side of the aisle, and I've been part of that side of the aisle for years. And sometimes I just want to kick back and watch Bob Ross instead of watching, people who I genuinely like rip each other to shreds. And from going from concept to having no product in 5 years, I get it. It'll show up one day, and that's I stopped caring. Yeah.
To me,
going from concept to nothing is wonderful product business plan.
Yes.
It's not. I don't think it's worth talking about in a way. They cover that over there.
For me,
last thing I want to do is attract any of that outrage culture that it's part and parcel with it. I mean, that's not what our show's about.
I'm so unfamiliar with like who hates who, and I'm happy to be that way. Like I don't care. Don't come at me and tell me I can't talk to somebody because you don't like them. I got out of the mainstream because I didn't like little cliques telling me who I could and couldn't associate with. So I don't pay any attention to it. I don't know who's mad at who. I don't know who's fighting. Like you might as well tell me, like, did you see on Twitter rolling on Dubs 420 and smoking blunts, 312 or beefing, and I'm like, I don't.
Wow. Someone's sweeping and felting, Aaron.
I don't know. I don't even know what that means.
I mean, exactly. But all the false flagging stuff is pretty interesting. I'm
guessing sweeping means that you're going to bat for them, and
something
means that you're like that you roasted them,
something like that. Exactly. I can't keep up with all the newspeak. But
Dylan explained to me what this new terminology is.
But the false flagging things, that's pretty mean because you get your channel taken away from you, which could be a source of income for you, and it shows I think it shows the nature of this thing of ours that we have a very small pond in the crowdfunding comic sphere, and now how much garbage are we going to put in our pond before it becomes undrinkable, or before we can't swim in it? So
false flagging is that's the unforgivable sin of YouTube. Is false flagging. It's like it doesn't matter. You can hate another person, you can hate their channel, but you do not false flag. I look at it the same way that I look at like people who leak DMs. I don't care if you don't like that person anymore. Like there's plenty of people that like I don't talk to anymore that just had a falling out or whatever. And they can say whatever they want about me. I'm not going to leak DMs. That's bitch made behavior. It doesn't matter. Like we were friends at that time. You had my, basically you had the ability to trust me at that time. You will continue to have the ability to trust me.
Right.
even though we have a problem.
Having off-air conversations, that's.
It's just you have to. Your personal integrity is your brand. And that's who you are, and I think that it's important.
Galichioki says, anyone else seeing the weird revisionist history against Civil War? Thought the story was always loved in Marvel's fandom. Now it's being called a bastardization.
By whom?
That's been going on for a while. There's a lot of people that really don't like Civil War for some reason. I don't get it, but that's been going on for a fat minute now.
There's a couple of elements of Civil War that I think have been ultimately negative, specifically with Tony Stark. And, Spider-Man revealing his identity probably wasn't very smart. But otherwise, I think that's a really, really good story.
It's a really good story. It's one of those stories where it's like, it was a really good story. It was a really good idea.
You only
telling
do
it. ultimately break the universe. And again, I think it's like Watchmen. It's like doing it once is fine.
It's fine.
It's when everybody else starts to do a poor imitation of it and try to carry it forward that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And additionally, I think they could have done an ending that would have done wonders for making that story amazing, which was the ending that should have happened to that story is that literally it ends up destroying and bringing down the government, because it shows like kind of that this conflict was going to be the end of the American government, because now you have a group that can just ignore them. And people would realize that government only has the power that you give it. And the heroes would see what their conflict did to the country and have to put it aside, have to put their differences aside to start and rebuild a society. That's what you could have done for the ending of that would have actually not hurt the characters, that would have showed how you don't ever do this again. You can do this one time. You can't ever fucking do it again. And
one person in the comments said it's because of Miller's perceived politics that people are kind of changing, reframing.
Oh, I'm sure that there's a ton of that. Just much like now Frank Miller is a monster and he never did anything good in certain circles. You go on certain forums and it's like people are just everything is just political now, and it's retarded.
I will say though that like that Civil War Unmasked book that like Wes and I looked at last week, that's a bastardization.
That's what I think he's talking about a lot of here.
The fucking they even like they totally fucked up the whole One More Day thing in it, because brand new day, one more day, whatever it was, and they totally fucked that up because they entirely forgot the Mephisto part.
Oh, they didn't forget it; they avoided it.
They avoided it,
and it's so
they stuck the movie version of events in there.
Well, I told you guys even during Civil War, like I knew an editor at Marvel, and he said that he was having a problem with the talent because editorial had divided up these are the characters that are going to be on Tony's side, these are going to be the characters that are on Cap's side. And he said that all of the far left writers, the ones that are always tweeting about politics, that always have the same takes, were all upset if their characters were on Tony's side because they viewed Tony's side as being pro-Bush, pro the Patriot Act. And so they were all arguing and saying like, my characters wouldn't do that. The characters in my book wouldn't do that. And he said he finally had to tell them, your characters have been assigned to that side. So what you need to do as a writer is write the characters, not your own personal feelings and your own personal politics and how you perceive this event that we're doing. So dig into your character's history and find a reason in their history that they would be on the side that they're on. So what he had essentially had to do is tell the writers, you are paid to write stories with characters, not write yourselves and your own views coming out of the mouths of the characters. So go and do that. And unfortunately, I don't think that that's the case at Marvel anymore.
So I was hoping to get this one last topic. I don't think we're going to get into do much with it because we're about out of time here. Doc and I have already reviewed Batman 163, Hush 2, Part 1, finale or whatever. Jim and I already talked about it on the Hot or Not podcast. Dylan, I know that you read Batman 163 this week. What did you think?
I mean, just like all the other issues, it was bad, but I'll say bad but entertaining because there's just so much crap going on in this book, and it's also a very pretty book because it's Jim Lee. But yeah, not a good book.
I kind of hope that they don't do Hush 2 Part 2.
Me too. I hope we're just done with it. We didn't need to wait this long for this. When we had those big delays, should just been like, you know what? It's over. No one really cares about Hush 2. We don't need any more.
Let's just forget about it the way that we did All-Star Batman and Robin. It just trails off. And
I think you could bring back All-Star Batman and Robin today and restart the series and it'd be popular, like really popular.
Yep.
Sure, but you couldn't
Batman.
have Jim Lee to
Yeah, you could have Jim Lee.
No. You get Jim Chung to do it.
There you go.
Pretty good Jim Lee Stanlin. Sully, did you read Batman 163?
No, it's not my cup of tea. I don't care. I've seen some pages from it. It looks beautiful, but like I read like 3 preview pages where it's just Catwoman and Barbara sniping at each other, and I'm like, yeah, don't care. I care more about the legacy numbering on the cover than I do with anything else, I guess. What does it say? Legacy number 926. Is that it?
928.
928. Thank you. And so how is that going to? So what does that make? So we have to prorate 6 more issues of this in the legacy number. So for the Matt Fraction series or something, where does? There's no legacy number on the Fraction cover.
Yeah. If you want a more full, in-depth review of this, you can go to the Hot or Not podcast right now on Think Critical Patreon channel memberships, or you can wait till Monday when the video comes up where Doc and I do the full review. But there, we got 2 topics in, but now we can get over to the recommendations and start wrapping up this bad boy. Sully, my man,
hello.
What are you recommending this week?
I'm gonna do this first. Because I know you love it. You hear that?
Nobody likes that. Nobody's here for your ASMR, Sully.
Here's some ASMR.
Influencer tapping the new comics.
Tap. Here we go. I got 3 funny books this week, all on my pull list. All really good books. Had a great time. Green Lantern number 35. Another good Jeremy Adams book. And for people like quitting because Kyle Rayner's a big part of focus is on Kyle Rayner. There's a huge Hal Jordan story in this book too, and he's hanging out with the other Wonder Twin, Jaina, while Aquaman, written by Jeremy Adams, is hanging out with the other Wonder Twin, Zan. So there's going to be some kind of Super Friends level hijinks going on pretty shortly between these two. I got a feeling. I like this book. It's fun, and another good Jeremy Adams book. I also got Infernal Hulk number 7 by Philip Kennedy Johnson. This cover art is the only Nick Klein art we're getting, and it's really good. I think it's a weak issue for me myself, as it's all about the X-Men. It's mostly the Jed McKay crew, and it feels like a filler issue and just starring the X-Men. But it's still a good book, and I'm in for it. And my pick of the week is Superman number 38 by Dan Mora and Joshua Williamson, continuing the story of one of my favorite books, one of my favorite characters, Superboy Prime. I love that I love his voice in this because it's so accurate to the Jeff Johns character that he is still smarmy, he is still sarcastic, and he still really wants to rip your head off, but he's trying to be better about it. And so this is a fun book. I love the look at it in the corner box. I love that we have a corner box figure, and that says everything about his character. He's still in that anti-monitor armor, and he's got that smug look on his face with his arms crossed. It's not the Superman pose of arms akimbo on his hips, but arms crossed across your chest, looking like a tough guy. And those are my 3 picks this week. And thank you, everyone, in the best live chat in the world.
Very nice. Now, Jim, before we get to your recommendations, you're going to debut this song? Is this a world debut?
I thought we were going to do it afterwards so I could tune out. You could do it. It's up to you where you want to do it. This is for you, Wes.
Got a rhythm to it.
Turn on some music, set the mood just right. Light some candles and dim those lights. But I'm lying here alone, nobody else to touch. And this lonely situation is just way too much. You say you're busy, you have things to do. So what can I do without you? I do the 5-knuckle shuffle, morning, noon,
There you go.
and shuffle. This kind of loving just ain't right.
All right. So
There was no mention of like fighting people, by the way.
That's a banger.
That's how you were implying?
That's
That's
part
what
of it.
Just
where you were
so we
going with that
all
one.
know.
Oh, Jim, can
Yeah.
I get a copy of that?
Yeah, I can send you the whole song. Oh, yeah. There you go.
All right, Jim, what books would you like to recommend? Because this
I'm
is a
just
really good week, in my opinion.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten to a lot of the indie stuff that me and you talked about. So I'm going to go with pretty much Superman and Absolute Wonder Woman. Those are my two picks.
That's who Wonder Woman was really good. No TMNT
Yeah,
Saturday Morning Adventures?
Oh, no, I'll add that too. I forgot about that. That's almost
You
like
love
a given.
PandaCon.
I do. It was great. Though I did think that Usagi Ojimbo was going to show up at the beginning, the way they were talking. So there was a little alluding to that, but it was pretty cool. But yeah, Ultimates 24 was not on my list, by the way, virtual
Well,
reality
yeah.
fitness, because it was promised to get
were
the Moody
promised something.
kids, and we didn't
Yeah.
get it. And that was a big disappointment because those solid gold, diaper neck,
yeah.
crab hands.
Unfortunately,
we were upset. Yeah.
Love those monstrous bastards.
Yeah, I needed them to take it
One
back.
panel.
It's so disappointing. But yeah, those two books were probably my favorites of the week, or three, because we added the TMNT.
All right, Dylan, you got any big videos or streams people need to be looking out for? Maybe you did the entire 007 game. I don't know.
No, I didn't because I had a cold this week, so I was thinking about streaming it, but then I got sick and I want to be coughing and clearing my throat and all that into the mic while streaming, so I didn't stream it. So no streams or videos this week.
All right, you got any comics you want to recommend?
Yeah, this was a great week for comics. We got Escape
agree.
came back. Escape issue 7 was incredible, really good. I think maybe my favorite issue of the series so far. It was really good. Rick Renner, Daniel Acuna. Corpse Night issue 2 came out, which is really good. I'm enjoying Corpse Night so far. It's pretty enjoyable. I really like the colors in this book. And Brutal Dark was incredible. Number 4. This book just keeps ramping up, and
Best
it's
issue
been
so far.
it's been really good, and I like this a lot. It's sort of like Indiana Jones meets Thin Man sort of deal. It's really good. As everyone already mentioned, Superman has been incredible. This Prime arc, I think, is going to go down as just like a really, really good story. Like, it's going to be one like 10, 15 years from now, people are going to be like still getting. It's going to be really good. This Prime arc's been incredible. And Green Lantern, it hasn't been as good, but I did enjoy this issue. The main problem it has is something that Sully mentioned, but Sully mentioned as a positive. I see it as kind of a negative, which is what Hal's doing is infinitely more interesting than what is going on with Kyle.
Agreed.
Kyle is fighting like an alien plastic surgeon, and it's just, I don't give a shit. And then Hal's like on this awesome space adventure, and there's stakes, and it's like, I want to follow Hal, but it's like, hey, here's 1 or 2 pages of Hal. Now back to Hollywood. It's like, I don't care. But this was a fun issue.
Is there space fake titties there?
No space fake titties. And then also, I don't have the issues with me, but Infernal Hulk number 7 was pretty good, and High Street number 12 was great. We get to see the Butcher in action this week, and High Street number 12 was really good.
I agree. So there are so many good indie books this week, and Jim will not read indie books before Hot or Not. I don't get it.
It's unfortunate. There are
I
a
have
lot of
a
good
life.
ones.
I'm an adult. I always run out of time. Though I do think with the Green Lantern, if you go and look, it legit has one of the funniest origin stories for any character ever with this Y2K kid.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny.
And it's
Yeah,
so funny. And when you read this origin, it made me laugh.
that was
so
a good
much.
bit. Yes.
Yeah. But the house stuff is a lot more interesting than the Kyle, and
the art's a
Kyle
lot better.
art was really off. Yeah,
Yes.
Ed Guerrero
I do not
on
like
the
this guy.
Taylor deal was not.
His
great.
head's really narrow.
Yeah.
Not into it. There we go. All right, Sarah. It looks like you are champing at the bit to get on camera and show off your favorite toys.
I don't ever really want to be on camera, but I do want to. I'm going to use my time this week to complain about something. This is going to be the Grinds My Gears segment. Todd McFarlane. This is a beautifully designed figure of Scorpion. He
Awesome.
comes with his spear and nothing else. No alternate head with a skull. No alternate hands.
He can't pull his face mask off to do his fatality?
Yeah, and then Sub-Zero over here, extra hands, but no no freezing accessory, no nothing. Now, fortunately, I have a lot of pieces that from previous figures that I can match up with this. But if you were just selling this to somebody who doesn't have any Mortal Kombat figures and wants to get into them, this sucks. So great figure, great design. Whoever's in charge of this line is killing it as far as making sure the characters look good. But cheaping out on the accessories for these characters, no bueno. And that's my rant.
He needs to have buckets of ice. He needs to have little ice spears, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just a one simple ice accessory. That's all I'm asking.
He's now plain Zero.
Yeah.
Sub-Zero, now plain Zero.
You're not going to recommend a toy that you liked?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say go over to Big Bad Toy Store. They're having a Super 7, or they're having a TMNT sale, so you can pick up some NECA turtles and some Super 7 turtles for super cheap. So the ones that I got this week came in my pile of loot. I got Robotic Rocksteady, which is amazing. That thing is a huge beast. The Robotic Bebop, same thing. And then I got Wingnut and Screw Loose, who are two of my favorite characters. And that toy is absolutely fantastic. The Super 7 version is great. It's just like the one that my brother had as a kid. And except more posable and better paint, and also picked up Scumbug. So a lot of cool toys this week that I got. Not necessarily new stuff that's been out for a while, but stuff that's new to me.
So Dancing Godzilla says, Aaron, you need to get into the Godzilla toys, but here's the problem: Aaron likes 6 inches or nothing, and the Godzilla toys are not scale.
Right. Wes loves 8 inches.
Nobody goes with the standard 8 inches.
Wes is always trying to convince me to get into the hot toys, to get into the 12 inches, and I'm like, I won't do it.
Not a size queen?
No, 6 is my limit. You got to draw the line somewhere. Otherwise, it's chaos.
Aaron
Bottoms
does not
out.
like the Godzilla toys, not because they're not cool, not because they're not designed well, but because they don't scale right with his toys.
Oh,
You need like a 5 foot tall Godzilla.
Exactly.
yeah,
All right,
no,
Doc.
I need a Godzilla that's as tall as me. Like, that's what I need.
Doc, it's up to you, buddy. What are you going to recommend this week?
Well, I am going to recommend that, first of all, people go over and check out our review of Batman 163. And that will be up Monday, I believe. And Wes and I disagree on this one. Not majorly, but just enough to change our ratings. And so I was out of town this week, and so I didn't get really to go to the comic shop at all. However, while I was out of town, I did hit a Walmart and picked up a Hit and Run.
Oh, I need that one. I can't find it anywhere.
But I saw the box, I grabbed it off the shelf, I was hyped. I wasn't even looking at the thing. I picked up something else while I was there. I got it back. I got back to my hotel room and realized it had been fucking swapped with a short fuse. And so, needless to say, I had to take it back. And I was, however, courteous enough to inform the lovely young lady at the service desk that this one had been tampered with. Please don't put it back out on the shelf. I don't know who tampered with it. I know. They're going to put it back.
Thank you. Right back to the shelf.
Yeah. Like she actually did look, and she's like, oh yeah, you're right. This is definitely tampered with. I'm like, yeah, I bought it a couple hours ago, finally looked at it and went, fuck me. So, but that being said, I did pick up another Viper because there was like an $8 off coupon on Amazon. So I got it for like $17. I don't know if they're still doing it, if it's whatever, but, and then I know that this is from like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. And it's getting into some like kind of deep cut lore from like all the way back on like a Real American Hero number 10. So 300 issues ago. So Larry Hama is definitely humming on this book. And then finally, I I think this one was from like 2 weeks ago. But G.I. Joe 22, first appearance of Crystal Ball, and you're getting all the dire tech and everything. So it's actually a really cool introduction to make the dire tech stuff match up with a lot of what they're doing with the classified figures right now. So I really dig it. This is a fun issue, and so yeah, that's everything that I have to recommend this week.
Well, very good. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic weekend. And I don't know. I guess it's time to call it a ball. Pop smoke and get out of here, huh, fellas?
Yeah,
we
Wes got to
get to
go
our
do the
third
5
topic.
knuckle shuffle.